Good evening, Speed Gaming fans. Today we have a really incredible match for you. Today it's Zeni versus Oats. This is for the SGLive 2022 Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament. My name is Eddie, and joining me today on comms is MM2 NES Cartridge. MM2, how are you doing?
Hi, Eddie. Yeah, this is good. We have two pretty good runners. Yeah, they're actually quite good.
Pretty decent. These guys are okay, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, I think one of them's run the best category and the other one hasn't. So it's going to be a pretty one-sided match. I think Oats is going to take it. Oats has like a top 5 time on the map completion board. Zeni has
one. So I don't know why I approved you for commentary.
Wow, Eddie, I had to get it in before you could start to regret it too much. But yeah.
All right. I'll
stop with the Namo for now, I guess.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to disqualify you from the silver bracket. Anyway,
wow.
We have Zeni and Oats. There's a lot to say about these players, but it's no coincidence we're getting down to the end of the gold bracket. Zeni, Oats, Zost, Cutie, the top 4 seeds coming into the tournament, and these are the top 4 players that we got in. But we have a best of 3 between these two, and I've got to say, we really don't know who's going to take it today. You know, it's hard to say. These players both have, I think, very similar PBs, 41-24 and 41-22. And coming in, these are the 2 players in the entire tournament to run a 41 time in the bracket stage, which is absolutely incredible. So I mean, I don't even know. It's going to be a crazy match.
Yeah, Eddie was asking me in the setup room who I thought was going to win, and I dodged him twice. And then I finally said that, Oats has I don't even know. I think Oats has a slight edge, but it's still it's extremely close. You can't really call it. You really cannot call it.
You really can't. Now, MM2. First of all, 45-86, 45-78. So these players neck and neck right off the gate. I do want to point out, Zeni already employing strats to try to save 1 frame on Oats. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but if you watch Zeni do runs, he does a setup in the Ridley room, where after he gets knocked back to the left ledge on Ridley, he runs to the right, stops on a very specific pixel, buffer spin jumps to the left, does a turnaround jump, lands on the left, and then arm pumps through the door to save 1 frame. And he did save that 1 frame. He got the 87 leaving the door.
Yeah, that setup is one of the few setups that can guarantee you an 87, well, at least the opportunity to get an 87. Leaving the Ridley room, but otherwise it's like RNG whether you actually get the opportunity for an 87 or not.
Yep.
Video game.
Yeah, I mean, Zeni, I think, entered that stair room with a 19 or something like that. That's actually insane. That's Zeni, the world record holder for the series escape. I think he was probably a little bit upset once he saw the Steam with how fast his time was in there. But yeah, one little small misstep right there for Zeni. He does employ a slightly faster and slightly more difficult strat in the parlay coming down. He does a moonfall and then does a double down back, whereas Oats just kind of runs off the right and then down backs to the left. So he kind of did a little misstep there. So lost a second or 2, but they're still neck to neck, of course.
Yeah, and then Zeni also did the weave moonfall in the climb, whereas Oats did the standard right side moonfall. A little bit, but yeah, and also Zeni.
Here's another one
for the stupid whatever this is. I don't know.
Yep, the spin jump morph grab right there. So Zeni, Oats, they both do wall jump checks essentially, where they try to grab the morph by turning away from it, and Samus kind of kicks off the wall and actually grabs the morph because the hitbox sort of extends in that way. Zeni does a strat that Zos likes to call illegal, but basically you kind of run over it, you spin jump, and you don't do any sort of a wall jump. You just spin jump to the left and go back to the right and do it all in one fell swoop, whereas Oats just went ahead and wall jumped off the little pedestal. But these are the sort of optimizations that allows Zeni to get the absolutely insane times that he does in the early game. I mean, one of the few people in the world, I mean, maybe it's just Rhea and Zeni that have the 437 bombs, I believe.
Yeah, it's very much an elite club. 437 just it's very close to perfection. But yeah, anyways, going through the pit room, we've all seen this a billion times. Zeni goes for the right side ledge grab climb, as does Oates. We'll see if we see any down grabs in the climb.
I believe both of these players don't like to do the down grab strategy. It is quite difficult. Does involve kind of a lot of maneuvers, but yeah, Zeni, oh my gosh, Zeni getting the wall jump into the parlor as well. So these are all like small things that it's hard to maybe observe as a casual viewer, but Oates actually doesn't go for a lot of these things that Zeni does. Whether it comes, as you mentioned, maybe that weave moonfall, the double down back in the parlor, the morph grab, the wall jump into the series, which I believe is frame perfect, but Zeni getting all of those, 440, crazy time.
Yeah, and like you can still think that like Zeni has a 437, so there's just so much more room for optimization. Not that like I don't even know what I'm saying. But yeah,
all right, here we go. Let's see if we can get the one round. All right, that's looking good for Zeni, and Oates should be. Oates is gonna kind of get that 1.5 round here. Unfortunately, he needed one more missile to fully get that fast one round, but was one missile short, so instead he shot 5 extra P shots, and then finished bomb trees off for 2 missiles. So Zeni pulling ahead a little bit here. It's kind of hard to say because a lot of times as speedrunners, we tend to put a lot of value on like, oh, what's your bombs time? Did you get a sub 450? Did you get a sub 440? It kind of really doesn't matter because I mean, like, all of that can be mitigated instantly by the mode, by Fantoon. You know, there's so much in this game that it's we like to obsess about some of these early game time save. It is important in the end, but it's far from over, of course.
Yeah, early game tends to be the place where you can end up resetting a lot if you get stuck. If you just get stuck and you're like, oh, I lost 2 seconds, better reset and do it again. Then you get a bunch of really good early game paces. But if you stop doing that, then you can get a lot more of like maybe slightly less good early game paces, but then you just get so much more shots at the mode Fantoon, wrecked ship, and then later down the road, upper Norfair, lower Norfair, stuff like that.
Okay, so Zeni employing the double angle shot onto that super door, saving a good chunk of time, maybe close to half a second. Oates actually just choosing to land and shooting the missiles. That's a little bit conservative. I think typically he would always go for the angle shot. In a race setting, you could argue that that might be a little bit risky, but it's one of those things that if you're very good at it, which both of these players are, you just don't ever really miss it. So there's something to be said about maybe having the confidence to just kind of execute some of these like quote-unquote scary strats, but that you might not necessarily mess up. But I don't know, it's interesting to see how these players might approach it. This is going to be a best of 3, so Zeni getting the weave, got to give shout outs to that. Another small little optimization that Zeni goes for. Oates is going to do just a little down back there. But yeah, I mean, with the best of 3, I do wonder how they might play. Like, will they just go all out on this first run, or will they maybe try to be a little bit more conservative and finish out the round?
Yeah, I can't really say. It's just down to how the players decide to play the match. Zeni gets to up and 2. Let's see if Oates can match it, and he does. Very nice.
Frame perfect.
Yeah, we did mention this is a best of 3. It's the first game in the series. All 3 will be played back to back. But I don't have to commentate the second and the third games. That's going to be commentated by Professor School and Sforzando. Those are 2 very, very familiar names to Super Metroid commentary and Super Metroid speedrunning in general.
Yeah, absolutely great commentators. I'm definitely going to be excited to kind of be the spectator and really just kind of observe and see what happens and start screaming in the chat.
Exactly. And then if you like seeing some runners who aren't playing for the stupid amount of money that we got for the gold bracket prize pool, we also have a third match. Not a third match, a second match at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. BR Joker versus P Toil.
Yep, definitely.
Which the winner of that match plays the loser of my match, so I kind of care about it. But that's anyways, both players. Zeni's still a little bit ahead, getting to the alpha power bombs. Misses that second D boost, and yeah, Oates can capitalize on that. Gets the D boost and saves just a little bit of time back.
Yeah, so All right, here we go. Zeni and Oats both employing the same strats here. They went ahead and we're going to forego the super missile drop, but Zeni getting kind of the bad RNG on that first cat, couldn't fly up the wall, couldn't wall jump up the room without getting hit by spike, so had to wait. So that does mean he does have an extra super. Now here we go. We're going to enter the Criteria Key Hunter room. Zeni actually employs a slightly more conservative strat where he goes ahead and farms this Key Hunter. It's part of the reason is he's hoping for an extra missile drop. Oats is going to go ahead and just jump over it. It's a little bit faster, but here we go. The moat coming up. CWJ attempt for both. Yep, frame perfect jump to get this set up.
And now they have a 2-frame window to get it. Zeni and Oats both get it. Very, very nice. Yeah. So now we're just still at that breakneck pace heading into Wreck Ship and then Fantoon.
Oh my gosh. I mean, double CWJ, literally just neck and neck. Both of them getting across in the fastest possible way. Frame perfect into a double frame, 2-frame window. Can't really ask for more than that of them too, but I mean, here we go. We got Fantoon coming up soon, as long as they get down this Wreck Ship shaft. But what kind of pattern are you expecting here, M2? What do you think?
I'd say I'm expecting a slow, because that's what Fantoon's more likely to give.
Yep. I believe it's 25%, fast and mid, or fast and mid, and then the 50% for the slow. So slow is expected here. But, you know, I've got to say, at this highest level that we've seen a very shocking amount of non-2 rounds. But Zeni being one of the few that goes for 1 rounds, it's going to be interesting to see if he goes for that. I believe Oats also goes for that on a slow pattern. But here we go. Mid for Zeni, mid for Oats.
Yeah, Zeni didn't quite have the missiles for a 1-round attempt, but gets a bunch of missiles from the Fantoon pattern. Let's see what they get second round.
All right, so we got mid for Zeni.
Yeah, Zeni.
Excellent.
I believe Oats will have a mid slow.
Yes. The mid on this pattern is very not likely to happen, but Oats should be able to clean this out. Very, very, very good. So
no, it's got
a mid.
It's got a right side pattern, so the mid was actually more likely to happen. So he kind of got scammed.
He got that one. So they got the same pattern.
No, Zeni got they both got right side appears, but Zeni got mid, and then Oats got a slow.
Okay. So just want to point out, on top of the fact that Oats did get the mid slow versus Zeni's mid, Zeni also kept Fantoon on screen for the Doppler. So that's a few extra seconds that Zeni was able to save on top of the better pattern. Oats, for whatever reason, it looks like maybe Fantoon was kind of in an awkward position. Had to let Fantoon go off screen, and then he came back for the Doppler. So yeah, hats off to Zeni. Excellent fight, and both very strong times, especially in a race setting.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Both have pretty excellent resources. Zeni most certainly does have the extra super over Oats.
Yep.
But it's
4 power bombs.
Yeah, both have 4 power bombs, which is really nice. And then just the extra super is nice, but it probably won't make too much of a difference since there's mostly upper northwest farms to even that out.
Yep. Okay, so Zeni looks like he was a little bit slow on that attic. He sometimes makes up for that by shooting a super on the second atomic to kind of be able to do this little jump faster as opposed to 3 missiles to make up some time. Unfortunately, didn't still get the 2-for-1 in the end. So oddly enough, both players coming out with the same supers now because Zeni did use that extra super in the attic. Nice deboost for Zeni.
Yeah, very nice. Zeni's still a couple seconds ahead going into gravity. Zeni get an upward deboost?
Zeni's in trouble here. Yeah, he's alive.
Zeni.
That's bad.
Yeah,
okay,
Zeni
so Oats actually can't take a 3rd hit either here. Okay, some repercussions here. What this means with 2 HP, there's several things. There's a Ripper right outside of the gravity room that you can deboost off of. It does 2 HP. It does 2 damage. Zeni cannot deboost off that, so he is going to have to jump through the door. It's not really slower. It's a little bit awkward because typically everyone tries to deboost off of it. The other repercussion here is that he's going to have to get nervous about the battle crabs because he's going to die if he touches it. But once he gets... Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Almost skipped that gravity, but 1328 for Zeni. Very, very strong. Oats with a 1334. That's still a strong one, but here we go. So Zeni jumps through the door. You're going to see Oats do a deboost, and Zeni has to make sure... I'm sure his heart is racing right now, but he's gonna have to farm those crabs and just kind of get that health. Otherwise, because he's gonna try to employ deboost in the later stages, but I kind of have to hold my breath here. These crabs are called the battle crabs because they have taken the lives of many good players. But let's just make sure he can get this.
Gets to see the screen.
Okay. All right. Okay.
22, so he can do the deboost in Hellway that he planned to do.
Yep. We can breathe easy. Now here's the thing. 22 HP. I think normally Zenny might consider just leaving, no farm at all. I think that's the wise choice here. But I think maybe out of just race safety, he's going to. Nope, he's out of here. He's just gonna go.
Zenny knows the spikes don't deal enough damage to really worry anyone.
Yeah.
Even on this low health. Yeah, and then Oats also has an excellent Hellway return.
Yep. Okay. So here we go. We got nice moonfalls for both players. But yeah, I mean, one of the bad things about being in this health bomb situation is if you didn't have good supers and you didn't have the power bombs that you need, you want at least 2 here typically. That means you don't really even have the option to farm because you have to farm everything to get out of health bomb, get over 50 HP. But it looks like with the resources they have, it's not really going to be that bad, and they should both be safe at this point because they're going to be picking up that E-tank in the high jump boots room very soon.
Yeah, there's not really too much to worry about after that high jump E-tank until we get to Lower Norfair, and I'm assuming that both players are going to be running PRKD. So nobody really loves PKRD at this level.
Yeah, at this level, you can't give up the 6 seconds or the 16, the 16 seconds or whatnot. It's just too much. We've seen these races, runners at the highest caliber. I mean, I think we saw QD and Zoast. We saw a match where it was decided within like 12 seconds or so. We've seen Ruya and Oats, matches decided with seconds. So, yeah, I mean, can't really take those time losses against players at this level. It's just too much.
Yeah, agreed. I know that there's a decent shot that I will be called into retime races because Eddie doesn't like doing them himself. Gosh, Eddie.
Shout out to them too for helping me frame count in last year's tournament.
Yeah, shout outs to, I believe it was Gebu Static. It was it was that race. Yeah.
All right, so just want to point out that Zenny, because of he got health bombed, what ends up happening, even though they both didn't farm, there's one cactus at the end before entering Upper Norfair that gave Zenny health as opposed to a super missile because he was health bombed. Oats got that extra super. Now, that being said, what ended up happening is Zenny actually kind of did a quick, I don't know if he did it by accident or if he intentionally chose to, but after grabbing the E-tank, the Sova that you kill, he paused for a second, and actually that Sova gave him a super. So pretty much recovering all of his resources, and they have, for all intents and purposes, identical resources here. I mean, 2 missiles for Oats, but this is identical resources.
Actually, Oats did a second Sova farm there outside Ice Beam, got a super off of that. So. Oh
yeah, you're right. That just happened right now. Thank you for catching that, M2. But here we go, Ice Escape, and these players are keeping up with each other.
Yeah, Zenny's still maintaining that few seconds lead despite the mishap in bowling.
Now, I have an interesting thought here, M2.
What's your interesting thought?
They're close to each other. The only time we've seen this kind of happen in the bracket stage was the other day between QD and Zoast. Do you think either of these players might consider skipping the wave missiles? I know Zenny won't. So basically the question is, will Oats skip it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very much a in-the-moment decision. Since this is a race scenario, if it's a PB attempt, you've probably planned out which scenarios you'll get it or skip it. Nice deboost from Zenny at the end of that Rising Tide. Just solid room all around. It's a very hard room to do well.
Whoa, Oats did something interesting there where he kind of KO'd through there. Oh, Oats going for the right side.
And gets it.
Ooh, nice. Oats foregoing that missile drop, but right there, Zenny with a little mishap in this bat cave, and Zoast getting that quick right side. Or sorry, Oats getting that right side. Why are the names so similar? Getting really close to each other now.
Yeah, also Oats got 2 super from the one farm he did in Batcave on the way in, and Zenny got no supers, so another little equalizer.
It is an equalizer. Now, here's an interesting thing. Oats, with his resources, could consider maybe just going for one farm, but I don't think he will. One of the important things here, Zenny's going to have to farm a few times, but Oats, there is some value to having regular missiles. Oats without full HP is going to unfortunately have to grab some health and might get mixed in with the missile drops. So yeah, Zenny's gonna 2 farm. Zenny's gonna go for a 3 farm.
Oh wow, they're very much synced.
Oh my gosh. So Oats with a little bit less farm, and now they're right side by side.
Yeah. Oats goes for a safer strat in single chamber, and Oats is still just like a few frames ahead. And they both get the
Oh my gosh, they're synced! MM2, they're
are
synced!
synced. Yeah,
okay, so both grabbing the wave missiles, yeah.
And Zeni elects to missile that door, and Oats does not.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it makes sense. Zeni had 1 less super than Oats did.
Yeah, you know, I'm wondering why. I think Zenny is maybe kind of questioning some of his choices, because I think typically, if you were going to missile a door, one door here, I think you typically want to missile the previous door. I think that's the faster one.
It is.
So I think Zenny maybe just thinking, I just want to make sure I have the supers that I need for this fight. But yeah, I mean, something important to point out, both are going to deboost off the spikes. I know it doesn't seem like much, but Oats with the 12 extra HP, you know, depending on kind of what transpires in the next few rooms, that 12 HP could potentially mean he has one more hit to take in Lower Norfair. So that's one of the reasons why you choose not to deboost in some of those previous rooms. But here we go. Yeah, we have the Lava Spark.
Yeah, both runners going for it. See how this goes. Yeah, it's the short charge. Both. Oh, Zenny doesn't get the deboost. Did he not go for it?
I think Zenny saw his charge. I can't quite, like, I was kind of looking at both, but I think Zenny did not trust how early he stored the charge and decided, I'm not going to be able to get this. I'm not going to risk it. And we're just going to go for the gravity jump. So there we go. Oats taking a little bit of a lead there because he was able to get that Lava Spark, but both have really good health, I would say, entering Lower Norfair. But here we go. This is scary. It's Lower Norfair.
Lower Norfair and PRKD, very, very much a scary thing in Super Metroid. Yeah, you see, Zenny was behind a little bit of health, but just doing the gravity jump without the Lava Spark saved Zenny just a tiny bit of health. So they're now pretty much on even terms.
Okay, so we got worst room in the game for Oats. That jump was a little bit low, but yeah, it's completely fine. Now we have worst room in the game for Zenny.
Yeah, there are a bunch of ways this room can go wrong, including missing this wall jump. He gets it, though, very, very nice. And you just want to get the solid Morpho's Pirate, nice.
Excellent,
Let's get the solid amphitheater entry as well.
Yep. So, all right, next few tricks coming up. I would say those first few rooms are one of the scariest, but yeah, Oats is going to have to store this short charge so that he can kill the 2 key hunters and get the farm, as well as reduce the lag on the power bomb that's going to hunter. Zenny kind of throwing his head back. I wonder if he didn't get the charge. No, it looks like he did it well. I think he's just kind of collecting himself here. But, oh my gosh, there was like no drops there for Zenny on those pirates. Was that a double no drop?
I didn't even notice. I was watching Oats.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, you know, either way, both are fine. 8 supers for both players. Incredibly good. What they would want to see at this point, they're going to use a super on this metal pirate door. What they want to see, ooh, Zenny taking an extra hit there. They want to see at least 3 supers from the first one so that they can get max HP from the second one.
Yeah, and health doesn't just matter for the Ridley fight. Oh, Oats gets full HP. Sorry, full supers. So now, like you said, Oats is going to have a lot of health going into the Ridley fight. Oh. Yeah, health doesn't just matter for the Ridley fight. It also matters for the Lower Norfair escape.
You know, so both of them had some trouble in the metal pirate room. Zenny didn't get the best kind of drop luck on the first pirate, but it looks like in the end they're both going to kind of even out. But Zenny's health is definitely a little bit sketchy. Okay, now it's good. I wonder how many X factors Zenny is going to attempt, because he's got the extra power bomb here.
No, they both have 3 going on. Oats aborts the third X factor, so Zenny is gonna go for.
Oh my gosh, same pattern.
Oh, yeah, they both had to abort the third X factor.
Yeah, so literally the exact same thing happening to both of them. So I mean, the sync is real. Zenny's a little bit behind entering this door, but here we go. Let's see how fast that this fight can happen. There's just so much nuance to the Ridley fight. A lot of AI manipulation. You want to see the swoops because you don't have to roll under for the pogos. But yeah, Zenny with 176 HP, definitely a little bit safer here.
Yeah, I think Oates just had like a bunch of more opportunities to use health to save time in the beginning of the fight. So that's why Oates is on lower health. But you're gonna see both runners use all their supers on Ridley here.
Yeah. So excellent dodging from both players. This fight's got to be over soon. Now, if I had to give an edge to one player, well, there we go, Oats.
There it is, and Zeni finishing right behind. It's like 5 seconds apart, something like that.
Oh my gosh, MM2! These players are neck and neck!
They really are neck and neck, and Oats getting really solid resources here. 22-42 Ridley Door, 24-24 for Zeni. So they're 2 seconds apart after Ridley. This is an extremely good race.
I mean, the resources are looking similar. It looks like Oats is kind of taking a few extra drops, but yeah, Zeni has the 236 HP. Oats' health is not looking as good, though.
Yeah, Oats' supers are making up for it. Also, Zeni has a lot more missiles than Oats does. Oats is going to elect to farm a Metal Pirate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
That's...
Oh, now Oats just has like all the supers in the world.
Yeah, so now here's the thing. You do want supers, but you are going to Kraid next, so you don't need 9 supers. I mean, I think Oats would rather have just had max HP there to ensure that he can just play fully confident in this Lore North escape. But yeah, for whatever reason, Oats decided to farm that Metal Pirate. I don't think he had to, but oh my gosh. I mean, there's good reason right here. So Zeni he's going to try to morph under.
Oh, he didn't quite get the morph. I'm pretty sure that's like an intended morph since I've seen it from so many runners, especially Aussie. Aussie said before, in the previous race he mained that strat. It's a tight morph under the Keanu. So
MM2, I'm a little bit scared. With 99 HP, Zeni should be fine. He could take 1 hit on the Key Hunters. Oats, I could potentially take 2 depending on how long he sits in the acid, but here we go. Let's see if he can get this manipulation. It looks good so far. Yeah, I think Zeni's got this.
Let's see if Oats can match.
Oats has this as well, for sure. Yep. Yeah. Even if Oats kind of fell and took a hit from the third, you know, it'd be very unlikely that he took a death by hitting the top one twice. So here we go. Zeni taking the lead once more. I mean, I think this is pretty much that
and Zeni gets ball boost. Zeni gets the ball boost on the way out. Let's see. And Oats gets ball boost.
Gets it too.
Oh my god.
I can't express. Both these players are playing really, really strong right now. This is a really good way to start off this first match. Both getting that quick down back through and dodging the Sova on the Bubble Mountain strat. So, I mean, if Oats wasn't watching the restream, had no idea where Zeni is, I would have to imagine he's thinking like, wow, I'm actually playing like really solid here. I wonder if I took the lead on Zeni. But no, that's not the case. They're just so close to each other, and Oats is behind the time that he took to farm the Metal Pirate.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have like a lot more resources, but like he sure has a lot more supers, but those don't even matter just because of mini Kraid in, then the Kraid drops, and then mini Kraid on the way out. Right?
Yeah, exactly. At this point on, if you have like 7 supers, beyond the 7 supers, it's kind of pointless because you have to use the super to enter. And what that means is, you know, there's maybe some ways where you can use missiles on the mini Kraid and just get a huge health refill, but you can't do that because you have to use the super on the entry. And in the end, Oats is basically going to pick up 4 supers here that it's just overkill. He doesn't need it. So yeah, grabs 2 supers, 2 extra. Zeni has 8, but with the Kraid drops, and he's going to come back on the mini Kraid, Zeni is almost certainly going to also have full supers as well.
Yeah, both runners have excellent resources. Oats could do with a few more missiles, so I'm sure he'll be hoping for a bunch of those from Kraid. Zeni going for lag reduction. Let's see if Oats does it. Zeni also gets Kraid quick kill. Oats does not go for the lag reduction, I don't think. But yeah, both runners get 2 missile free for Kraid quick kill. So we're going to seeing very high 27 various times. So excellent runs from both runners.
Yep. So the one nuance here, now effectively, I would say with 159, 178 HP, Oats has the option of missing the mini Kraid and getting a health refill, but it's really not necessary because all you're worried about is the Batoon fight because you get an E-tank immediately after that, and 174 is way more than enough. The one reason I would give Zeni a slight edge, aside from the fact that he's ahead right now, is he does have 16 missiles, and that is kind of a big deal because if Batoon kind of doesn't treat you right, doesn't give you the supers that you want, you're going to have to use those missiles to kind of clear out the Dragon fight as well as the turrets. Oats, if he doesn't really get any missiles from Batoon and at this point, depending on the drop luck, he may have to go for a farm in the Meridia, and that's going to put him even further behind.
Yeah, just Oates did not get the missile drops he wanted from Crate. I'm sure he wanted like a lot of missiles there and just didn't get any. But Bottoon's pretty likely to give you missiles, and then also the bugs that you farm after Bottoon. So there's a lot of opportunities for Oates to get some missiles here.
Yep, nice wiggle from Oates to fix that jump. You know, it's like frame perfect basically on the entry, but if you kind of go a little bit earlier, you can fix it with a little wiggle to not hit the ceiling. Now, I've got to point out, like, literally the time difference is still that metal pirate farm that Oates took in the beginning.
It actually is. Like, I want to say Oates has made up like a second or two, maybe, but it's incredibly close.
It's so close here. So here we go.
Things
can change.
A pretty aggressive setup into the boss lane fight. Oates also goes for that aggressive setup. Slightly different, but yeah. Zeni gets the X Factor, gets the 1 round. Oates also gets the X Factor.
He's doing a double X strat.
Double X?
Oh!
Oh, okay. Oates. Oh, he needs another super.
Oh, this is not good.
Yeah, this is not good. Oates' resources are in bad shape here.
Just like that, it's really good again.
He gets 5 supers! MM2 drops?
All right, so Oates is still going to have to try to get a few missiles from here. Otherwise, he is going to have to sack some of those supers on the Dragon fight. Now, here's the thing. Okay, with 12 missiles, that's probably fine, but Oates is going to probably have to use maybe 1 extra super on the Dragon fight. Now, there's still a lot of stuff to go. Oates has to first nail this full halfy. Looks like he got it.
Yeah,
in this Dragon fight. I mean...
See if he grabs it. Oh, he elects to not get that super drop from the Metroid. See if he regrets that.
Yeah, I mean, Oates' resources, I think, looking pretty solid. He's going to have 3 missiles, 3 supers to kind of use on Dragon after expending the 3 here. Potentially using 1 super on the turret. It kind of depends on his choice here. But, you know, there's a lot that can go wrong in this Dragon fight. And here we go. Zenny's first up with this X Factor Spark.
It was like a solid open. I think that was
maybe a little low. Was it good?
I don't know. I think it was good. Maybe.
Zenny used a lot. Oh, yeah, okay. Either way, cleaned it up.
Yeah, clean the fight up. Does he get the spike suit? He does get the
spike suit. Okay, that's definitely a good opener for Oates.
Yeah, good opener. See if Oates can match up. Gets the same pattern. Oh, he doesn't get the charge.
He doesn't get the charge. Oh no, this is looking not good. I think Oates can clean it up here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He should clean it up. This is not that hard of a spark. Okay, he's got it.
Okay. Oates does lose a little bit of the time on that Dragon fight, though. Gets the spike suit, though, so not the end of the world.
All right. So, I mean, between literally what you were seeing here, 2-round Bottoon, essentially, I guess you could say a 3-round Dragon, and the Metal Pirate farm. That's the difference between these runners.
Yeah, it really is. Zenny's a really solid Meridia, and Oates just had a few slip-ups here and there. Does have 1 extra super over Zeni, but Zenny's got a bunch more health.
Yeah. It's interesting to see what kind of drops that we get. Obviously, Zeni is going to want to see all supers, basically, in the Meridia farm room before entering kind of back on the way back to G4, but almost missing that ledge.
That was quite tight.
That's a big time loss if you fall there. You have to recover. But yeah, here we go. Zeni, I think he's pretty happy with that farm. 2 supers and a big health. I mean, he's looking pretty darn good and for that Turian entry. But here we go. Oates with 4 supers. I think he's going to want to see some health. Otherwise, he could do it with 101 HP. But you mess it up and you're dead. That's kind of what happens in Metroid Room 1 if you have this kind of health.
Yeah, you see, okay, he gets 2 health from the super, so I don't think he's displeased with that farm either. Still has that 1 super edge over Zeni.
Yep. Okay, so, I mean, here we go. It's still close. I mean, Oates is hot on Zeni's tail here. Turian, probably the most dramatic phase of all the speed run. I mean, there's so much that can happen.
It's got it all. It's got hard tricks. It's got RNG. And it's got a breathtaking escape sequence at the very end. So it's like an 8-minute showcase of all the speedrunning has to offer, or 7 minutes if you run a better category.
Zeni kind of messed up a few of the last rooms. Didn't get that blockbuster, but also bonked the door entering the parlor. So let's see if Oats can get this. I was just thinking about the Dragon fight, but Oats doesn't get the blockbuster.
Eddie has called Oats Zoast.
Was just talking with him before this match in Zeni's chat. But there we go. Zeni, I think, entering at 33-46, I believe. 30-46 or 47.
Yeah, Zenny's like, I don't even know how far ahead Zeni is, but it's a bit much.
Yeah, looks like somewhere around 17 seconds ish or so. I think that's about right. All right, I mean, 17 seconds can easily be lost.
We saw how much Mother Brain RNG it saved Oats in the Oats Ruya race. And Metroid rooms, baby skip, Zeb skip, escape. There's a bunch of stuff that can happen. And then we don't even need to talk about, you can literally just die. So there's a lot of things that can happen.
There's a lot of things that can happen. All right. Zeni first up entering this room. These runners.
Gets the elevator pause.
Yep. Saving the 30 frames or so. 40 frames, I believe.
It's 40.
Mm-hmm. Recently discussed on the Discords. But here we go. Zeni first up into Metroid Room 1. This is a hard one. You gotta get the right timing on waiting right here. Drag the Metroids. Perfect.
Nice. Gets it.
Very well played for Zeni. Not getting that many supers.
Yeah, you got like 2 from. Average is 3.
Ooh, fast up 2. Okay, that looks okay. As long as Zeni doesn't get completely scammed as M3, he should be fine. Let's see if Oats can get this M1.
Oh, Zeni messes up his Metroid 3. This is not where you want this Metroid to be. So he's gonna missile this one. Doesn't have to refreeze the other one.
Okay. Zeni is not looking good here. He needs health, but he can't use a super because he needs the super. So does he super or does he missile here? This is gonna be really important. He's missiling.
Zeni has low health here though, and he does the hopper boost. So Zeni can elect to refill here, which loses a bunch of time, but he's ahead that bunch of time. And Oats has 29. Oh,
and he might take it. No, I think he's good.
No, he doesn't take a second side hopper hit. Okay, Oats is fine. But Oats has a tighter Mother Brain 1, but Zeni has a tighter Mother Brain 2, assuming he doesn't have Mother Brain room.
All right, baby skip.
All right, let's see how this goes.
Good jump. Oh, lag.
Side hopper, so he's gonna lose a couple seconds.
I think Zeni's got this.
Yeah, he's got this. Let's see if he.
All right, well, let's get it.
Surely he doesn't. Oh, Zeni's gonna refill. Zeni's
refilling.
Yeah, and he's gonna. I think Oats is ahead here just on the refill.
Oh my gosh.
This is... Oats is just ahead now. Zeni has 2 extra supers of leeway over Oats on Mother Brain 1 here, and he also has a bit more leeway on Mother Brain 2.
MM2, I've got to say, I mean, we're gonna have to see if Oats can get through this section right here because he does have 1 less super. He needs to hit all the supers. He can lose a missile or 2, but I'm sure Zeni wasn't 100% sure of what the situation was, because if he knew exactly where Oats was, I don't think he would have taken that refill. I think he would have risked it.
Yeah. Okay. Oats is through Mother Brain 1. This is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Zeni.
He's okay. He took the refill. Zeni has extra supers here to expend. He's fine. Oats is in the lead. Zeni has 89 HP versus Oats is 59. This match has been crazy.
There's been a ton of lead changes here, and this is nuts. All right, here we go. Mother Brain 2 for both runners.
Both of these players must do 60 shots to the face. Zeni could actually do 59 because he has a super that he can use at the very end.
Yeah. Could also use it at the very beginning if you really wanted to, but both are fine.
The other thing to note, you must have at least 301 HP at the end of this fight. So effectively, Zeni has 88 HP to expend, and Oats has 58 HP to expend.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, that means you can take only a few hits. Oh, Zeni could maybe take one more.
And he has to run under those onion rings, otherwise he's going to get hit by the French fry there.
Oats on the catch-up phase. Shot him beam down.
Yeah, Oats losing just a straight up second on that catch up. Misses another shot.
No!
Oh,
Zeni
Zeni!
took a hit from the catch up!
Oh, that's it. Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Assuming Oats can make it through the rest of this fight, and he does. Yeah, that's G.
That looks like it's GG. Now, I believe Oats in the very end, assuming both players played to their utmost potential, Oats did have the lead at that point.
Yeah, Oats hit catch up first, so Oats was already ahead.
Yes. But you never want to see a runner kind of go out that way, taking the catch up in the end. It was just an unfortunate death. But Oats does still have to finish this out, but it looks like we will be seeing Oats take game 1.
Agreed. Yeah, this is just game 1 of a best of 3. We still have 2 more games immediately after that's commentated by the amazing Professor School and Sports Zondo. So I'm excited for those. I don't know about you, Eddie.
I'm very, very excited. If it was anything like this race, this is going to be incredible. I've got to admit, I'm rooting for Zeni in game 2 because I want to see a best of 3 of them too. I want to see a best of 3 between these runners.
Okay. I don't know. Should I go the other way? I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. I would love to see a game 3 in this series, but I also want to see love for the P12 BR Joker match.
That's true.
Which is also going to be an excellent match. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's actually in the same spot in the bracket, in the sub bracket as this is in the middle bracket, which is, I think, that's interesting.
MM2. I mean, you know what's the craziest thing in this race, I think?
What's the craziest thing in this race, Eddie?
What we've seen in this race is when the players elected to go for safety and a farm, the other player actually would take the lead. And that lead would just maintained throughout basically the entire race until the other player chose to take a safety. That's what happened in this run.
Yeah, literally. Oh, what was it? Yeah, most notably the Metal Pirate farm by Oats allowed Zenny to take the lead all the way through Meridia and up till like G4. And then Zenny had the Metroid Room slip up and then he took the refill and then Oats was ahead again.
It was literally like Zenny held the lead on that Metal Pirate like for so long. It was unbelievable. They just stayed at the same pace.
Yeah, it was an excellent race.
Yeah, I mean,
Oats just has to go through escape. Very much a relaxing section compared to what the rest of this fun has been.
I'm just so happy to be able to kind of witness and commentate a best of 3 between these 2 players. I mean, everyone at this point, the best basically are like among the best players of Super Metroid in the world, and to see them duke it out in this best of 3, it's just such a pleasure. But yeah, Oats is going to be getting through the final sections of the escape. It just has to get the spark up, has to get through the parlor, and will be entering the ship to finish off of the match.
Indeed, it takes a little bonk into the parlor, but all told, an excellent escape.
All right, so Oats looking like he's going to be finishing soon with a low 42. I mean, low 42s, these are still among the best times of the bracket, but here we go. Oats landing on the ship, taking game 1 of this best of 3 between these 2 amazing players. Get your GGs down, chat. Oats finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 42 minutes and 12 seconds.
GGs indeed. Yeah, we will not have an interview after game 1. We will be just going straight on to game 2 whenever these runners are ready.
MM2.
Eddie.
It was a pleasure commentating with you. This has been actually an amazing first run. This may be one of the best matches we've seen, and it's just the first. It's just the first game of this best of 3 match. It's one of the best. I would say this is one of the best games we've seen of the bracket so far.
Yeah, this has been an extremely excellent race. This is just it's been a pleasure to commentate it with you, Eddie, and I look forward to watching games 2 and 3.
I do as well. So we will be moving on out of here, and we will be the spectators. But coming up next on comms, don't leave your seat. Keep that monitor on. Don't close the tab. Whatever. We got Sportsando, we got Professor School doing comms for this game 2 between Zenny and Oats. Oats being up 1-0 in this race. Both players basically just duking it out, going back and forth. And in the end, Zenny taking the death and Oats kind of having that lead at Mother Brain 2 is able to secure the first game. And stay tuned, because we got the next match coming up when the runners are ready. But M2, any final words before we're off?
Just GG's again. Good luck in the future matches to both Zenny and Oats, and yeah, hope to see you all on the other side.
All right. Thank you, viewers, for watching. And I'm going to take a back seat and watch these matches now. Stay tuned once again.
Well, hello, one and all. Welcome to Game 2 of this epic match. And I don't think you're going to find two bigger losers than right here in the commentary booth. I am Sforzato. I am joined here with Professor School. Professor, that was a heck of a Game 1, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness, Fort Sando, I am so excited to be in the comms booth for this Game 2. That Game 1 was incredible. It had so many moments. We had runners get down to 2 HP. We had runners bailing on strats. We had RNG hacking our runners. And then we had pure tragedy at the end, just that gut-wrenching moment in the Mother Brain fight. But that is all off the table now. We are now into Game 2. These runners need to reset their brains. Whether they're up a game or down a game, they need to get right back in there and start fighting for their survival in this tournament. Of course, Zenny, one game behind, is in the slightly disadvantageous position, but anything can happen, and these runners are so evenly matched, Sfortsando, that I would not be surprised by any result. What do you think?
You know, and it's funny, as we watch that race, I think it's very difficult to assess if there are any real adjustments that need to be made, because if there were any adjustments to be made by Zenny, you almost can't do those, because now you feel like you have to pull out all the stops. And we know that Oats was actually the more conservative one at the beginning of Game 1. Zenny actually came out with the tricks that saved the frames that got him that early lead. So you know, it's just going to be really interesting to see what Zenny does. Does he do the appropriate boost strats in bowling, despite that 2 HP coming out of there and that risk? So I'm just excited for this.
Yeah, I agree. This is actually something that that we were talking about, you and I, just before this, that it was actually Oats that was having sort of the more conservative of the two runs. And in the end, I'm not sure that that's necessarily what ended up paying off for him. Obviously just sort of an unfortunate situation for Zenny. But I don't know. Zenny had his foot on the gas, and I don't expect anything to change here down a game.
Yeah, so we have to get through the early Sarah Station fluff, where, well, we mentioned in Game 1, Zenny is the world record holder in this category, but Oats has held this world record as well. A couple of, I think it's high 47, now 47-64, I think, is the world record. Okay, I think that should fix our audio issues, hopefully. There we go. Alrighty, so here we go as we're heading back to Planet Zebus. Once again, somehow it magically came back. I think we're going to have to do it all over again. This is some sort of multiverse thing where we just have to do it again in another universe, I guess.
All right, well, here we are, coming down onto Zebus for the second time today. Neck and neck once again. I expect it to be just like the last match. These runners just pushing each other to the limit.
Yeah, definitely. And while we've got a little bit of a lull in the action chat, interact with me. Which one are you? Are you Team Goat Pen or Team Squirtle Squad? Post that in the chat. I want to see what you're representing. Who is going to win Game 2 here? Oh, the double weave sync. Look at that. Beautiful.
Okay, so at least one indication that that Oats may be going for slightly more aggressive strats. It's possible that in the first race, He went for the standard moonfall just based on positioning coming through the parlor moonfall. I don't quite remember, but we'll have to keep an eye on Oates and see whether or not he tries to ramp up the pressure a little bit more by going for some of these other aggressive strats.
Yeah, that's certainly true, because the way you drop in from Parlor, if you get a nice little wall hug, you can do the standard moonfall there, and really it only loses you about 7 or 9 frames or so, whereas if you ended up a little farther to the left there, the weave is the more appropriate strat.
Yeah, it can be, at that point, it can be 15 or 20, really, right?
Yeah, like I think I've timed a bit of it at like 407, 410 or so, and then like maybe 354 if you're all the way over on the left and doing that that weave.
Beautiful sync here from the runners, nailing everything so far, and really, I have to say this is something that MM2 and Eddie referred to a little bit in the first run. They talked a lot about that bombs time and how it can really be canceled out a lot by things that happen later. But what I want to point out is just how incredibly technical the first 5 minutes of this game is through BT. It is this is something you and I have talked about before. It is almost cruel that these developers put these rooms in like this. Construction zone, this pit room that we're in now, and then these 2 huge vertical shafts, both the climb and parlor, incredibly technical from the perspective of a casual runner, and even more so from a speedrunner trying to push these low times.
Yeah, I think if you're any sort of speedrunner at this game, at any point you will have noticed that reverse pit room with the pirates is just a difficult room to do really well. You probably fall into 2 or 3 pits on average at first, and I still do, and I like to pretend I'm pretty good at this game.
Yeah, I like to pretend that I'm just checking for secrets playing SM Arcade.
SM Arcade is a fun ROM hack, I'm not gonna lie.
Look at this sync coming into BT. Holy smokes, folks. A 440 just creeping into 441. Incredible bombs times from both runners. And that item fanfare disappearing with almost near perfect sync. You cannot call it one way or another. MM2, you stay in there. We might need you for that retime.
It's taking a little damage there, but 4 missiles should be good. You don't need missiles out of there if you have at least 2. You can do proper strat, still grabs the 5, still refills, everything is good.
Yeah, incredible too. I mean, 512 leaving BT's room is just, it's otherworldly. Incredible stuff here.
Oh, Zenny with a little slip up there.
Yeah, just missing that mock ball after getting the much harder right side Alcatraz exit. But going for some arm pump strats, ooh, unfortunately, just taking a hit there from that gamer. Gonna have to make an adjustment on the fly with both of the waivers still on the screen. Does not get hecked on drops, though. That's really fortunate. Those waivers can be kind of jerks sometimes.
Yeah, right when you need them, the percentage of no drop, which is like I think 4%, 3.96%, something like that. That's the percentage of no drop, and it's always rough when you get it because it's right there when you need to refill those missiles.
Wow, a 6:04 elevator time from Oates, and this is just a few seconds behind for Zenny. Anything sub 6:10 is just elite level. This is 2 runners operating at really just the highest level here. What a treat for everyone today.
Yeah, and we're back to getting the Doppler angle for both of our runners. Oates didn't go for this last time. I think I made a comment in game 1 in the chat that Oates missed that in his race against Floater, so I didn't know if he was going to abstain from that for at least for a little while, or if he would go for it. Didn't go for it in game 1, did in game 2 and got it. Both runners opting for the safer non-door fix strat too. We've talked about this. Oh, and Zenny still takes a bonk from the Rio. It's a safer door fix strat because you weren't supposed to take damage there, just to make sure you have an adequate amount of health for Fantoon. Oh, the weave is not free for Zenny on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's only free if you do it right, but those frame perfect tricks will get you. And we'll, just as Eddie pointed out in the last match, there are so many frame perfect tricks that these runners are going for.
Yeah, here comes another one. Oates gets that 2 jump up there. That is a frame perfect trick right off the corner. Zenny not quite getting it, but that's okay. The setback's not too terrible, but if we're talking frames here, that is an extra wall jump and everything that comes with it. Did Zeni not get the jump out of this? He's gonna just do an extra run. Okay, that's fine. I usually see, and that's what I do is jump out of there. So I just wanted to make sure that wasn't a misstep. It wasn't. He did fine.
Yeah, you can make up for that if you notice you don't jump through the door and without slowing your momentum. You just have to be early on that on some of those first frame pushes for that jump.
Yeah, both of our runners getting that quick unmorph right there, it helps fix the door. You get the solid stay without dropping that door down more, and it saves you, however many frames on that door fix, which I think is like 10.
I think it's even more than that. It's pretty substantial. That's a bad door when you run through it normally after doing the spin jump down. I think it might be more like 25 frames on the door. It's pretty insane. You don't save that much time actually on the overall strat because it takes a little longer to get down there, but and do the unmorph. But you save a ton of time on that door. It's really kind of wild.
And notice Oats is at 107, and actually, yeah, somebody putting on the chat that I think Oats took a caterpillar hit there as a hit from one of those zeros, and they at this level they do like I think 40 or 50 apiece.
Yeah, it's 40. They're hard hitters. These crabs both coming into and coming out of wrecked ship can really cause trouble.
Oh,
all right, let's
Oats
see how these
missing the
setups going.
attempt. Okay, he's gonna get it on the second try. And it looks like we're going to CWJ on Zenny's side as well. So any lead Oats has kind of down to about 2-3 seconds now. There's our double CWJ again. That's just beautiful.
Yep, just like in game 1.
All right, chat. Get your patterns in there. What is Fantoon going to do? Are we going to see slow, mid? Are we going to see the coveted fast? Oats does have one of those in these bracket stages. It is a 6% chance for fast. I would love to see both runners get fast personally.
Yeah, pretty low odd chance of that happening, but you never know. We've had some funny things. We've had even those less than 1% rare Fantoon patterns. You have to be prepared for anything in this sort of race situation.
Hey, maybe Zenny goes for the 1 round. He has been keeping track of the number of 1 rounds he gets. I think it's usually Emmett that gets it fairly consistently in any percent, but Zenny did a lot of that during his hundo grind.
Yeah, it'll depend on the pattern. A little bit harder to get with a fast depending on the drop distribution and where those might lie. Let's see what he gets. So no fast for either runner.
Oh, double slow in round 1,
yep.
Okay, this is a good on-screen setup for Zenny here. Oh, he's gonna take that off screen. Oh, he did try the 1 round.
I think still getting maybe 6 missiles in. I wasn't quite sure. One of the missiles hit the wall at the back.
Not quite. I think he had 5 in there, so he just... No, he did. Okay, he got the 6. So, no, he didn't. He enraged Fantoon. He was 1 short.
No.
I think he only got 5 in the
I think
Doppler
you're right.
ring.
I think that's the one that I saw hit the wall was the 6th missile that he
So
needed.
Oats is on round 3 as well, so this isn't even like, this isn't terrible as long as if Zenny can get a fast, this will be okay. We got a disappearance on Oats' part.
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, that is so incredibly unfortunate.
Okay, so this isn't unheard of. This happened in this happened to Ruya, I believe, in his losers bracket match with Glove, the Giant Killer. No, he died in Attic, but it's still right about the same thing. So you're looking at probably about I'd say about a 9.5 minute setback or so as it relates to making up this run. Now, by no means is this run over, but. If Zenny happens to be watching the restream, and I believe he does, he is going to see Zenny. He's going to see Oats took a death, and probably will take the necessary saves to make sure he doesn't die to Mother Brain 2 this time around.
Wow, I mean, just talk about game 1 and 2 here. The story of 2 heartbreaks for each of these runners. First, that ketchup right to the face for Zenny after spending the time for the refill. And and
he's
here
grabbing
it is,
a save now, right before bowling of all places.
I mean, if you're watching the restream, like bowling can be dangerous. Zenny had that trouble in game 1. He was down to 2 HP. I think it's absolutely the right decision. You want to make sure that you're forcing game 3 here as the person who's down 1. Absolutely.
Yeah,
but
because
yeah,
I mean, right now he can only take, he can still take the 2 hits, and he hasn't taken any damage, which is nice. 169 will still put you in the critical, in the health bomb range, and you do definitely want to avoid that. If he could just get like maybe 5 more energy, this would be okay. Oh no, that puts him at 49. I don't know how to do math. I'm sorry. I should not. I should be consulting the professor on the math.
It's okay. Wow, what a turn of fate here. Really, really unbelievable stuff. I mean, you just hate to see it. Heartbreak for Zeni in game 1, heartbreak for Oates in game 2. I'll be really curious to see, Oates came in with pretty low health going into Fantoon. I don't know how much that affected his play, and then got really badly flame laned, it looked like, on that 3rd round of Fantoon, and wasn't able to sneak by the flames without taking damage and get the shot in time. And it wasn't actually a very fast eye close from Fantoon. The eye was open for either the mid or long amount of time. But just not able to get in place. And then, once Fantoon does that, it's really hard to tell, when and where Fantoon is going to reappear. And, that's really hard for anyone at any level of play, only being able to not give up even 1 hit. And it's just heartbreak for Oates there.
Yeah, 1420 gravity for Zeni, and certainly in a normal PB setting, 1420 is a bit high, but now we're talking just making sure we finish the run, because the rule for the tournament is you do still have to finish the run, regardless of whether your opponent forfeits or keeps going, or whatever the case may be. You have to finish the run. So Oates is going to give it the community college try here, and just try to get through this run, hoping Zeni doesn't make any more major mistakes. But that's just what you got to do. You just got to keep your head down and just do the run that you know how to do.
Absolutely. And this is part of the reason why I think a best of 3 for these critical matchups at the end of such a long tournament is actually really important, because this is a very difficult category. I actually did the math on this. Coming out of the qualifiers going into this, we averaged somewhere between 35 and 40% of the runners in qualifiers over all 8 qualifiers not actually surviving those qualifiers. We had, I think the best was qualifier 3, where we had something like 80% of the runners survive. Only 20% took deaths. And then we had a real bloodbath, I think, in qualifier 6 or 7, where something like almost 50% of the runners did not finish the qualifier. And that's running both the Kraid First or Fantoon route. Any percent Super Metroid is not easy. And at the top level, it is even more difficult. These runners are pushing incredibly difficult strats. And credit to Oates, he actually did have some really sick dodges there in that fight. And just got a little unlucky, I think, at the end with the flames and then the placement of the reappear. But this just goes to show you it's a difficult game and a difficult category.
Yeah, what's tough about that is as long as Fantoon went, you're killing flames and getting drops and everything like that. So it's just sort of unfortunately just gets away from you, especially when Fantoon disappears, because then Fantoon reappears and there's flames everywhere, and it just becomes just a little more of a difficult fight to manage from that point. A lot of people who practice, like when we practice, we do always how to kind of do it right, and for some people, myself included, when it gets away from how it's supposed to be done, there's definitely a lot of like panic. I don't say that it's panic, certainly, but you never want to get outside of the correct way to do some of these things.
Yeah, 100%. Will be really interesting. I'm curious to see whether or not there's benefit here. I'm sure, Zenny's aware of what's going on. We'll be taking, I guess, some additional safeties. Maybe even goes Kraid first here, just to make lower Norfair a little bit easier. We'll have to see.
Okay, so in the meantime, Zeni is in the item collection portion of the run, where there's very low risk of death on this side, but it's still doing this segment well. There's definitely some things that make you slow down just a little bit. Some of the time losses can be a little chunkier depending on how bad you do some of these rooms. It lulls you into a false sense of security. You gotta make sure you stay focused. You gotta make sure your head's going one room at a time. And something I heard Oates say once actually was not just thinking about the room that you're in, but go ahead and think about kind of the next room ahead. You don't want it to surprise you basically in the door transition on going, oh, what do I do here? So each room is going to be vitally important to do to make sure you maintain a good time.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sforzando, and I think, particularly at this level, what these runners are able to do is compartmentalize all of that at the same time. What's the health and energy? What's the loadout that they have? What are their resources looking like? Okay, I missed this strat. I need to have this backup ready and on the fly. What do I do in these different situations?
Hey, there, Oats getting the double thorn swag there. That's always kind of nice. Getting to chase the thorns up is showing how you can speedily do those wall jumps and do that room correctly.
Yeah, always nice to have those double spikes chasing you up the elevator. It always looks kind of fun.
Yeah, and if you are just joining us, this is game 2 of the losers. What is this? Losers bracket semifinals or losers bracket round 6, whatever this is. There's one more losers round. The winner of this series will go on to face a real cutie. And then the end of that one lies the Goliath of Super Metroid. And oh, it's not quite getting that CWJ there. In Zost. So this is the winner of this series, moves on. The loser of the series gets 4th place over the entirety of the... Oh, showing off a little bit there with the extra bomb jump. That's what he's doing.
I was wondering what he was doing with that first one. I was like, that's a really weird way to suddenly go backwards there. Yeah, okay, it was intentional. I think this is important though, right? I think if you're Zenny coming out of game 1, the question is, how do you straighten your head, stand up for a minute, clear out the air, and get yourself ready to be in a do or die situation? And now if you're Oats, having that trouble, obviously very frustrating. How do you get yourself back into a good mental state? The difference here is maybe after this heartbreaking start to game 2, at least Oats has quite a bit more time to just play around a little bit, stay loose, go through the motions, practice some extra rooms as part of this run, and gear up for what is most likely to be a game 3 in this situation.
And I'm so incredibly torn about this because on one hand, Zenny is in all likelihood going to finish this run, certainly doing it with a lot less pressure, having now a fairly strong lead against Oats. But at the same time, you're getting that win in kind of a relaxed environment. I don't know if that actually prepares you to get over the things that tripped you up in game 1, because that sort of feeling of doing it under pressure isn't quite there. And I don't know if that means Zenny is going to correct those mistakes, if and when we get to that game 3. But I do know that at least finishing the run probably will go a long way to fixing some of those mental just things, not the yips, but like you know what I'm kind of saying. Oats already has a finished run, already has a 1 game. So Oats is kind of just gonna come into game 3 probably saying, okay, look, we've done this once before. Just purge game 2 from your mind and just lock this one down.
Beautiful air Doppler there to finish off that Fantoon fight, by the way. Be very interesting to see what the contrast is in game 3 for Fantoon, if and when we get to that point. It was really interesting. Game 1, Eddie and MM mentioned that so many of these top runners, even in playing at this top level, have struggled to get the 2-round Fantoon, and it's really never free. There's so much that can go wrong with that fight, as we've seen. But in that game 1, both runners with perfectly clean, beautifully executed 2-round Fantoons. The only difference, of course, just a little bit of RNG on the pattern that they got, but just clean as you could possibly imagine, and just totally the opposite story going into game 2. So, game 3, who knows? Could be a completely different situation. It could be a different boss that trips somebody up. It could just be coming down to small execution and movement, and we're synced the whole way through. Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah, in the meantime, again, I can't stress enough that Zenny has to finish. And if you've ever played New Route or ever watched a game of New Route, you'll know that these things are not always a gimme. There's still the Ridley fight. They're still navigating these Disgigas in Wasteland even. They hit pretty hard. Sometimes a little slip-up can still cost you a match. And here comes Ridley around the corner. And sometimes Ridley is rough even for the top runners.
Should get a lot of health though from these metal pirates being nearly full on supers. Let's see. A lot of health to start. Yeah.
Maybe I'm being picky. There was, I think, 3 super drops in there. Probably would have traded that one for a health if I could, but you know, you're pretty well good off.
Yeah, Zenny was on 8 supers there, so technically one wasted drop according to the game's RNG. But waiting for the extra health drops and being nearly at full with the 9 supers, I think you probably want that health drop instead of the 10th super, just a little bit more safety in this fight. Oh, really interesting setup there. That's one of the newer setups for the second X Factor there.
Yeah, I'm going to call that 2 3/4. I think one of those solidly hit the tail, but that was still a pretty awesome, pretty solid opening there.
Peppering in a couple supers early, not having any troubles with those. Always nice to get your supers in and not have to worry about any of those missing and generating a much longer fight. Nicely reading Ridley's patterns there. Really, really nice adjustments here. Clean fight so far from Zenny. Getting really close. And a nice grab. One little hit at the end, got a little sloppy, just as I was saying the fight was looking totally clean. Just that one extra hit, but got through the fight without a problem, despite actually not taking the extra save. So it could have gotten a little bit dicey there, but as we thought, you know, there was either going to be a save or you know, maybe an early crate or an extra E-tank, and here's the extra E-tank. So Zenny will have a load of health to get out of this this lower Norfair section, and I expect we'll probably see a 4-tank run as well, just for some extra safety coming out of Meridia. And pretty good resources, it looks.
Yeah, I like the 5. I probably want to see 2 more just individual drops. You're gonna have King Cac coming back up as we get back to lower Norfair or upper Norfair. Hopefully that's second red waiver that you can farm as it relates to exploding the power bomb can drop a super as well. I think I'd like to see 2, but I also like to be full at Kraid, so you probably could go into Kraid with 7 or 8 and probably be okay, just depending on your drops.
Little hiccup in Wasteland for Zenny, now trying to manipulate in Key Hunter stairs. The first manipulation looks excellent, gets through without a problem, and you actually had the... Gosh, I don't understand those freaking Key Hunters. They do some weird stuff sometimes. They were all bunched together on that right side. I'm not sure if I could generate that if I tried 10 times. They do some weird things sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of it is when the game was originally programmed, they just set some monsters in specific spots and then said go, and depending on how you enter a room influences how they move around, and the little things that you do, you might see the runners drop a bomb and then dip back into the hidden area and come back out. That's specifically designed to move those pirates around. And I don't understand how it works exactly either, because certainly you can't see them. My guess is that they move when you get into like a certain range of them, but not on screen. I know there are enemies that move all the time, not on screen. Key Hunters and Attic, for example. But those are, I mean, I know how to do the manipulation, but I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, I've always thought it would be most excellent to have some sort of like addition to the practice hack or some feature where you could actually see the key hunters like in a picture-in-picture or something, and then I mean, gosh, wouldn't that be great to actually see what they're doing while you're moving around in ball form? So much of that, for example, the key hunter stairs, it changes how those things will move. Whether or not you enter a jump a little later, if you move side to side, Disgiga is obviously the same way. They react, entirely in a manipulatable fashion to how Samus moves. I would always like to see a little bit more about that.
I know there are certain elements of, I think it's just either programs or something where you can see a side-by-side of the rooms, like, not hitboxes, but the framing and outlining of how the room works. What are collision detection blocks and everything like that. I know that I've seen that, but I don't think it's directly on the Super Nintendo. I think it's a PC program. Probably like Smile or something like that.
All right, here we are into our Kraid fight for Zeni. One little bit of damage reduction and through clean as Crystal, no problem whatsoever. Sitting at 14 and 7, we'll be able to completely refill those supers exiting Mini Kraid. So Zeni in really fine shape here.
Yeah, these are solid. These are solid ammo counts. 14 supers or 14 missiles is really nice. 4 power bombs is really nice.
Ooh, look at that right side bubble mountain into the D boost. That's like, gosh, what's that? That's probably a sub 5-second bubble mountain. That's an insane room there. I think that's 2 runs in a row now as Oates executing that beautiful right side bubble mountain.
I think he got it. Oh no, that's right. Of course. This is the first time he's been in that room. If you guys are just joining us, welcome in. This is game 2 of the best of 3. This is the losers bracket. We just call it semifinals, I suppose. It's round 6. This is going to determine who finishes in 4th place and who moves on to face a real cutie. Oats and Goats is up 1-0, but unfortunately for Oats and Goats, Fantoon got a little away from him and had to take a death, so he is, I think, at least 9 minutes or so behind. Plus, Oats has been kind of hamming it up with some of the tricks that he's been doing and trying to get to point B. So provided Zeni finishes this run, this series will be tied and will go to a game 3. That will be right here up next at the conclusion of this run, probably closer to the top of the hour. But in the meantime, just sit back, relax, drink your favorite beverage of choice, and just kind of enjoy what these runners are doing.
Ooh, wow. That just barely worked on that D factor there. And just a little bit of trouble with the supers. And now Zeni is going to have to sit through a bit of a slower Batoon here. When this fight goes wrong, it can go really, really wrong. The D factor, of course, sort of an updated version or an alternative way of tackling Batoon, where you actually use that physics of swinging those particles all the way from right to left. And in this tournament, we actually saw an even further update of that kind of strat. The same concept of using the swinging capacity, the physics of those X factor particles from Aussie, who recently put out sort of a nice video showing that standardized setup where instead of going all the way to the right and jumping to the ceiling, he actually comes down onto the ground and morphs so that the X Factor particles come down onto Samus low on the ground, and then similar to the end of the D Factor, walks over to the left and gets those particles to actually swing up and to the left, changing their X and Y positions. So once you think a room in this game has been standardized, one of these top runners comes up with another way to either make things easier or more consistent, oftentimes not even at the loss of any frames. It's really, really quite impressive.
Yeah, and another thing that Aussie had in his notes was that setup is actually good when you're doing it suitless. So if you're doing randomizers or any other suitless setup there, it is going to work just fine. So it's a very interesting strategies being developed here in the Super Metroid community. And if you want to stay up to date with that, we have a Super Metroid speedrunning Discord that covers every category, randomizers, puzzles, task discussion, whatever the case may be, as that was just a solid Dragon fight, solid spike suit there for Zeni.
Yeah, holy smokes. Like, we're talking about runners optimizing things to no end. That was just a beautiful Dragon fight, using all missiles there, getting a really, really perfect opener and setup with both the Spark and the X Factor, nailing the spike suit and using it to come all the way back across Coliseum. Just picture perfect from Zeni. Beautiful, beautiful Dragon fight. And the only real improvement I think you can make on that is if you start going for these new 2x X Factor fights that Zost had been posting about in the Discord. Just another example of how this run in this category continue to get optimized and changed up by the top runners.
Yeah, and it's crazy because with the world record being 40-46, these little optimizations might get that number down, but that's going to purely be up to these kinds of top runners to see if they can actually take that time down anymore. There's not really much discussion in the 39 5x category because a lot of this is very well optimized, and even these little things with Batoon, and even these little things that just are these little optimizations, you have to get them all at once. So it becomes tougher to even talk about a lower 40 world record time, but still, these are all the things that we just discuss on the Discord. And if you think this is difficult, do not worry. There is a route for you. There is a run for you. And there are plenty of people in this community that are willing and able to help. As we get the double pirate kill, I've seen Oats grinding that quite a bit. That is a solid strategy. It does cost you 3 supers, but you hope to kind of make up some of those with those drops. If you're good on health, I think it's a decent strategy to go for.
Goodness gracious, the last half of Meridia there for Zeni, after struggling with that Batoon fight, just everything else from there to the end was just a thing of absolute beauty. Holy smokes. Looks like we're probably going to be looking at a low 43, if nothing else goes awry, if we have sort of a normal Turian. So still with all those safeties, it's pretty solid from Zeni.
Yeah, 34:59 G4. I have to pull up my timer to see how that relates to my time because you're talking about low 43, and I'm like, hey, you're getting closer to me now. Like, I feel like I could do this. No, I'm just kidding. I cannot do this. And Oats is showing off with the 5x X Factor there. I'm missing a couple of missiles there. You want to shoot those in packs of 3, certainly, because Ice Beam, Wave Spacer does 300 damage per charge. So do 3 missiles. And so keeping that count even is usually the goal of many of the runners when they're looking at their missile counts.
I wish I was keeping track of what the room entry time there was, because with the 5 X Factors and the extra super pack that Oats had, like, my goodness, I don't know what that time was. I mean, surely I imagine that was in the 70s. I've seen a couple runners post slightly lower times with, ridiculous X Factor strats, but that was just really, really, really good.
Yeah, Oats taking a little pause. I think he knows Zeni is going to complete this, probably taking some time to check his Instagram.
Nice room 1. I mean, really the only disaster there for Zeni would have been some sort of
here we go again.
Issue.
See, now this is why I do wonder whether or not these runs will fix some of these problems, because this is where the wheels came off the cart for him in game 1.
Yeah, full on health though, entering 4, which was not the case in the last game, right? I think he was like under.
He was
under
at 327 coming into the sand pits, and it's one of those things where yes, he's fine, but no, he's not fine with acceptability of that room, and I think that's something that he probably is going to immediately take to the practice ROM in this little break between races. I'd be willing to bet But then again, I don't have any money, so I can't put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Swartzando. I think it's probably runner dependent. I know I've talked to some of the top runners in the community who will, grind GGG and Lava Dive for 10 minutes before a GT Classic race, and then there's others who just won't touch any of those difficult strats before a race. They don't want it to get in their heads. If they hit every single one, is the run going to be the one where they miss it, or if they start screwing up, is that going to get in their heads? So I think every runner is just a little bit different. I can't speak for Zeni. We can certainly ask him about that. How these runners were trying to stay loose and keep themselves mentally and physically ready, both between runs and during the run itself. Here's the safety save for Zeni. So with 4 tanks in the save, he's in great shape to finish this
and
run.
we got Oats checking his Instagram again, or whatever it is that he's doing. Now, I think, I don't know, I think Oats was talking about how old he was a couple days ago. Maybe he's getting up there in boomer years. Maybe he was checking Facebook.
Yeah, I saw some MySpace call-outs in the chat, so we'll take it back.
Shout outs to Tom. shout outs to Tom getting his $550 million bag and then just getting out. I like how Oats got the return ball boost on that one. Just decided to hang around for a couple seconds, reload that jump, gets the return ball boost.
Yeah, Oats sort of confirming something that we were speculating about in chat or in comms earlier. That
it is Instagram that he's checking.
that Fantoon was really just to call it unfortunate, to call it unlucky. I don't know what you'd call it exactly. I mean, it was just kind of an absurd set of occurrences. It was
rough to take that fight that long and not get that many health drops. That was just really, really rough. Because I mean, if you got slow, which is I think what he was doing, what he was working on or working off of, to not get the health on that one is just it's just tough.
All right, the first catch-up avoided by Zeni. And that head coming forward, no problem at all. Zeni damage is down, and we are through.
Zeni delaying the beam shot just a little bit.
I thought maybe he was going to end up using all of his power bombs there.
Okay, so again, I never want to call it because the commentator's curse, but Mother Brain 2 is really the last obstacle that risks death in a run. And so now all Zeni really has to do is navigate Mother Brain 3, which is a fight that you can die on. Trust me on that. But once you navigate Mother Brain 3, it's the escape. Once you get to the ship, this one is over. And then we all take a quick break as we come right back here for Game 3. Oats, Zeni, Game 3, and Professor and I are going to be right here on the call with you all for Game 3. You aren't going to want to miss it. Go grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite snack, sit in your Barca Lounger, and get ready for an epic race 3.
Barca Lounger, holy smokes, okay.
Do they still make Barca Loungers, or are they gone?
I don't know, I think you're
Lazy Boy?
yourself.
I'm not sure which reference I should have used there.
All right, so you're sitting in your Barca Lounger, checking MySpace, and the Zeni Oats match comes on, and you're like, hey, this is going to Game 3? That's so awesome. Totally sick, bro.
Yeah, definitely. And like, if you don't know who Zeni and Oats are, you can go to lycos.com and type that in the search engine box.
Oh, see, I'm too lazy for that. I would just ask someone to cha-cha.
Oh, hey, when we're done, let me get you my ICQ number.
We're having fun, folks. We're having fun.
Meanwhile, Mother Brain is taking a face full of rainbow beam. 36 shots. So far, so good.
Yep. So as we said, smooth Turian. Even with the extra save, we're going to see a low 43 here from
Yeah,
Zeni.
we're probably looking at 43, 18, 20-ish. Oh, he gets that Leodox Moonfall. That's the big trick of the game right there.
Is it the Leodox? Well, I guess it's Leodox Moonfall. It's in the Leodox room. But it's like sort of, if I called anything Leodox in that room, it'd be the Leodox Bonk. Whoops. No big deal here. Plenty of health, plenty of time. No one breathing down his neck. Coming into Parlor, and Zenny's getting ready to close this one out. Okay.
He's going for the animals. Go blast them, Zeni. Oh, yeah, that's what they deserve, useless animals.
Just a little bit of troll for good measure.
If you just stumbled into Super Metroid and do not know what we are discussing, there are some animals behind that room, 3 Atacoons and a Decora, and they show you things about the game that we never see because they are not in any percent at all. So there it is.
Of course, Zeni getting the fast entry into the ship.
Oh, that is great. Get your GGs out in chat. That is an official racetime.gg time of 44:51. Really? That's what it says right here. 44:51.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at that and I'm seeing. I mean, I haven't gone blind. It really does say 44:51, but Zenny screen says 44:04. I would have said 43:51, but yeah, no, it says 44:51. So. Well, I don't know if that needs sorting out or not, but we know that Zeni has won this game. This series is tied 1-1. We are not going to have the commentary in the post chat because they are getting prepared for game 3. But Professor, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be hyped for this game. I think Oates is gonna lock it down. I think we're not gonna see any of those shenanigans again. I really think we're gonna have a close game 3.
I agree. We are right back where we started. It's 0-0, game to 1. Next win, and you move on. Next loss, and your time in this tournament is over. Folks, buckle up. We are getting ready for game 3 coming up next.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here. We are we are ready to go for game 3. Zenny, Oats and Goats, get hyped, everybody. I'm back with Professor School. All right, Professor. You ready to go?
I am ready to go. I am stoked for this race. This is going to be out of control. We're down to the wire here. It's the last game. Nothing left but to win this game 3 and move on or lose and go home. We are at the critical moments, Fort Sandow. What do we have to look forward to here?
Hopefully not death, because unfortunately each of our runners have taken one at some point in this race. If you guys are just joining us, game 1 was won by Oats and Goats, where Shiny Zenny took a catch-up to the face. Oats was ahead by, I think, about 7 or 8 seconds still at that point, but you just never know what's going to happen. Mother Brain 3 or finishing the escape, you never know. But Shiny Zenny did suffer death at Mother Brain 2, which is unfortunate. And then, of course, in Game 2, that everybody just witnessed, Oats and Goats took that death to Fantoon. I'm hoping for less death and more tight racing. I think maybe we might see a little bit of conservative play from both of our runners now, because both of them have taken a death. Things have just not quite gone right for one reason or another. So we'll see if they just kind of played a little more safely, or if they assume the other one might and they pull out all the stops.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm so stoked for this. I mean, it's been a little bit, as I mentioned earlier, a matchup of 2 heartbreaks so far. We had the catch-up to the face for Zenny in Game 1, and then we had the just incredibly evil Fantoon, most unfortunate, in Game 2 for Oats. But we're all even. We're back in Series Station for the 3rd time, and this is it. This is what it all comes down to. Winner moves on to face a real cutie. Loser goes home with a nice bit of purse in their pocket, but that's certainly not the outcome either one of these runners want. They want to move on here.
No, and 4th place. This is for 4th place, but they are getting their share of the prize pool that has now crossed $20,000 US. That is a much larger amount of dollary dues if you are of the Australian persuasion.
Look at that, 2 46s, a 3-3, and a 4-3 from both of these runners. I think those are the best series times we've seen yet. Off to an excellent start here within just frames of each other to start off. This is exactly what we want. See these runners stay tight and push each other to the limit. And who knows, maybe we'll get some incredible times and some incredible memeries from this Game 3 of what has already been an excellent matchup.
I would just love to see sync most of the race. We did have fairly good sync in the last race, albeit within maybe 5 or 6 seconds apart from time to time. But there were definitely moments where both of them were entering rooms at the same time, doing fights at the same time. It was definitely really awesome. I would like to see a good complete run from both of our runners here.
Yeah, I think you're right. At one point, it was frames that they were apart from each other. And that lasted all the way through until entering that Fantoon fight. Just really, really incredible. And as I pointed out before, Fantoon, no problems in Game 1 for either runner. Problems for Game 2 and for both of our runners. So we're hoping they get through there and give us just an absolute spectacle. We're ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, if this happens to be your first Super Metroid run, welcome in, welcome in. We're in the quiet part of Super Metroid, where we do the first little bit of item gathering. First item being the morphing ball, where it helps us get into one-tile gaps and those sorts of things. Both of our runners do really tight movements here. Shiny Zenny going for, of course, what is called the wall jump check to be able to have some distance from the morph ball to still get it while landing on the platform to shoot downward. Oats, of course, with the more traditional wall jump off of that. Once again, Blanket, you missed it. Oats had a down shot in that construction room that came before he landed. That was a nice, slightly quicker strat there.
Just within a second of each other. And again, entering this really, really critical and technically demanding section here, coming back up to bombs.
Yeah, the Pirate Pit Revisit. This room can be deceptively tough, and the way the top-level runners do it is even harder with attempting to do an early jump and then getting a French fry deboost here. Oh, Zenny kind of missing that, just plowing right through it. Oats missing it as well, falling into the pit. 3rd pit, 4th pit. Oh boy. It's a tough start because that's probably 20 or 30 frames per pit that you miss in falling in there.
Nice fast entry. Ooh, just missing that that wall jump for Zeni. I got a little ahead of myself, and just like that, these runners are back within a door transition of one another.
Yeah, we got a little bit of what I called it last game. I kind of don't know if I like using the word or not, but kind of a little bit of the yips for both of our runners here. Feel the nervous energy. This is a critical game. Winner goes on to face Cutie. Loser goes home, which is a bit of a misnomer. They already are home. But the loser will take 4th place all in the tournament. Their share of the $20,000 prize pool. The winner will, of course, get a much heftier share and a date with a real cutie. All for the hopes to vie for another chance to take down Goliath Zost in this tournament, who is waiting patiently for the winner out of the loser's bracket. Solid BTs from both of our runners, man. That's just nice.
Yeah, and despite all the issues that Oates had coming back up from Blue Brinstar, still a 4:44 bomb is a very, very respectable time. Zeni clocking in at about a high 4:41. So, you know, even with the hiccups, still excellent times from both of these runners. See those mirrored wall jumps out of Alcatraz there. Right side for Zeni, left side for Oates.
Yeah, it's one of the first tricks you'll learn. It's one of those ones that can be deceptively tough if you don't know how those wall jumps work specifically, or sometimes if you let go a jump by accident, whatever the case may be, you could short that up. That's definitely a trick you don't want to miss.
Okay, Oates evolving, sort of avoiding any issues there. Had a little bit of an issue with the waivers, which is what Zeni had in game 2. Zeni this time coming clean through those waivers with no issue whatsoever, and is going to have a really, really sick elevator time here on his hands. Let's say 6:05. Yeah, really, really nicely done.
I would kill for a 6:05. I'm pretty sure my personal best is like 6:12. Just elite level play here.
Yeah, I definitely feel like if you ever get that sub 6:10, 6:09 or lower elevator time, you definitely feel like you've accomplished something really incredible in the world of Super Metroid speedrunning. That is a hard thing to do.
Well, thank you for saying I've never done anything incredible in this game. I appreciate that.
Oh, all right. I didn't quite go that far, but listen, you sit back in your lazy boy and just chill and enjoy this game 3, all right?
Oh, certainly will. As we get a good waiver boost out of those early supers. Now Zeni's going to go for the Kago mock here. That was a strategy we talked about last run where our runners wouldn't do it. They didn't want to take the health loss. Oh, it's going for the much safer jump over the Rio.
The weave is free if you do it right. Beautiful frame, perfect trick. For Shiny Zeni, that's 2 out of 3 weaves in these 3 races.
Well, the weave is also free if you unmorph and do a down back. So...
And that is a double frame perfect room, folks. That up in 2 trick coming out of charge. Also frame perfect. What a beautiful double frame perfect room. And Zeni with that just clawing a little bit ahead. A couple frames here, a couple frames there. Just building a little bit of a lead here going into the red tower climb. Obviously nothing insurmountable, but just a really nice start from Zeni here.
Yeah, it will all be negated at Fantoon. Because Oates is going to be getting a double fast 6%. I feel it. He already got one in his race against Loaders a couple of rounds ago. I feel it. Chat, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think the Fantoon pattern is going to be? We got a lot of time before there. Usually don't open that up until after the moat. But as we are talking about it now, as they're heading to the Powerbomb room, Zeni in the Caterpillar room heading to Powerbombs, Oates going through Hellway, just a couple rooms behind right now.
Yeah, Oates avoiding any damage there this time on the Caterpillars, which is nice. Obviously, having that extra 40 health going into Fantoon would have made a big difference in that second race, so Shirley has to feel a little bit better about that.
No, it's Oates and Goats, not Shirley.
I thought I just wasn't supposed to call you Shirley. I can't keep track of this.
It's true.
This time, Oates too fast for that spike coming off the CAC. Beat it all the way to the elevator.
Yeah, so right now we're just this elevator transition behind, and it's looking like probably about 6 seconds at this point is the difference between our two runners. So still very close right off the gate.
Ooh, Zenny missing the jump setup for the CWJ.
Yeah, I mean, so Oats is going to have to do
we'll still have a
HBJ.
chance for it.
Yeah, that's a bit too far. It's a bit too far. He's going to go for an HBJ here. Zeni misses the CWJ. Oh, goodness. This could turn everything around if Oats can hit this. Solid.
Wow, and so Zeni actually having the setup for the CWJ, missing it, saving it, getting another opportunity at it, and then not being able to get over. He just needs to settle here.
Oh no, he's missing his HBJs. See, that's the unfortunate part about getting CWJs in both Game 1 and Game 2 is neither of them actually had to attempt that. So seeing both of them attempt that's a bit of a struggle for Zeni. Oats nailing it certainly first try, but also having been set back by that improper door entrance, but definitely has a sizable lead now. And this might all be for naught. In Game 2, this is where Oats took that death, so no guarantees. Oats had a slow, did not get health drops. Coming in with 167 looks a lot better.
All right, it was a 10-19 door for Oats, 10-37 for Zeni.
Okay, so we had one fast on... Oh, here it comes, here it comes! Double fast! I called it! Chat, you are amazing. Those of you that called fast... Wow, Oats! Oh, so we got a fast on Zenny's side, but not enough missiles. I wonder if he's going to have to go for 6 on the backside.
Oh, no!
Oh, Oats got the disappear. Did I commentator's curse? I'm so sorry. We got a slow round 2, and Zenny's got to pop 6 here, I think. Yeah, it does a little stutter there. Both kills right at the same time. We are synced again.
Yeah, and actually really fortunate for Zeni there, because there was actually an extra flame that laid down right in front of Fantoon, and I couldn't tell, but it looked like that last missile may have double hit the flame and Fantoon's eye. Zeni was in a situation where if that had not worked out in that way, he may have actually had enraged Fantoon again, and just like that, the trouble on Moat for Zeni, the trouble with that Fantoon again for Oats, but surviving, and we have almost near perfect sync. Holy smokes! Everyone hold on to your butts and buckle up. We have ourselves a Game 3 race. Let's go.
My goodness, my goodness. And on that fancy fight, if you're even remotely familiar with that fight, you do what is called missile Dopplering, where you would put 2 in, pause, put 2 more missiles in, and then you either let them go off screen or you could do it on screen. But in the first round, you want to get at least 5 missiles in there. 6 missiles in there, so that in round 2 you could set it up to only shoot 2, and then 5, and then a super to get that kill. But I think Zeni only got 2, 2, and 5 on that, or even 2, 2, and 4. I'd have to look at that again, to where he had to do a little bit of that stuttering action that you saw him get in round 2 to complete that missile count. A little bit of trouble in Attic for Zeni, though. Okay, good boosts for Oats and Bowling. So he is down 11 to 13-10. That's going to be about a 13-45, 13-46 or so gravity. 13-18 down for Zeni. So that's going to be about a 13-53, 13-54-ish gravity.
Yeah, so still very, very close race. A little bit of back and forth. Moat troubles for Zeni. Fantoon troubles for Oats. Attic troubles for Zeni. We're going back and forth, but the health is good. The resources are good. 9 supers for Oats. Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely something where Zeni's probably going to have to look at farming the CAC attacks, at least 1. I don't know what he's going to like specifically coming down the elevator, but if it were me, I'd probably end up taking both. You don't want to leave that up to chance unless you just fell desperate. Maybe he does move on because he sees he's just an item transition behind. You never know, because I know Oates does not have to take that farm at this point.
Of course, power bombs are going to be a bit of an issue here, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't even actually take a look at that. I was so
for
hyped on the
runners.
supers. So you want 2 right now. If you're right now, you want 2. So if you're Oates, you want this to be a power bomb drop. Got 2. Okay.
Yeah, Oates
solid.
got both power bombs. Okay.
If you're Zenny right now, you have to get 2. And that's the part of the unfortunate bit right here is, he gets 1. So
1 of 2. So it's going to be farming the B-Tom.
It's better than getting 0-0 because then you have to do a backup strat out of high jump boot. And so gonna have to stop and farm this B-Tom coming up. There's a pretty fast setup for it.
Here, by the way? Is Zenny going to stop for supers with only 6? Probably, right?
Yeah, there he is. He's at least got the item cancel missile, the charge beam. Yeah, getting those 2, it costs you about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds, depending on you. If it's Zenny, it's probably closer to a second and a half. But yeah, I had to get those 2 supers there, especially being low on power bombs. That's just not another resource you want to be low on.
Oh, and misses the Moonfall coming into Red Tower. So a little unfortunate for Zenny. Had the opportunity to make up a little time because Oates was forced to farm, but of course Zenny also similar power bomb troubles, forced to farm, and then again another one in Red Tower. But actually did a really nice job with that B-Tom farm, laying that bomb and then dragging the B-Tom back out just about as fast as you can do it. Really excellently done.
Yeah, that's about the proper strat for it. I think I've always dropped my bomb just a little lower to knock that block out, which is probably not what you want to do, which is why you shouldn't take advice from me on speedrunning. But definitely still masterfully done on these backups to keep this within, a one-room game.
Yeah, just a little bit more than an item transition and a half. Couple small hiccups for Zenny here.
At least he burns blows up the tube. I mean, that is something, if he didn't blow up the tube, that could have been disastrous. Okay, so Oates' lead is pretty wide at this point. One of the things that's going to potentially equalize this, or at least narrow it closer, is the upcoming Lava Spark trick. For now, you got to make sure you lock these tricks in. I mentioned in Game 2, as Zenny was doing these pickups, this is a deceptively hard split because there's nothing that risks killing you, so tight movement is paramount to make sure you're going to continue to do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this upper Norfair segment is actually really, really technically challenging, even leading up to that lava spark. There's just so much that you could do here.
Yeah, I mean, between this high jump boot escape and getting that extra super farm there, nice little beam shot up, really only probably cost you 30, 45 frames, I would say, with the stop and up shoot, because you don't get the ball boost up, but you are not having to wait for that drop, which is really nice. Ice Escape's another one of those it's probably as hard as it looks, and it's never a guarantee, and if you don't get it right, if you come out of the room incorrectly, you're going to have to take an alternate route out, which can set you back. So Zenny's got to just keep that focus up through this room, through Ice Escape, and then, of course, the next perils of Cathedral and Bubble Mountain.
Oh, and look at that. I mean, not only a nail to the Ice Escape for Oates, but just about as short of a short mock ball that you can get. That short hop mock ball was just barely off the ground. Incredible. Nice little frame save there from Oates.
Yeah, so Zenny gets the out too. Very nice. Now we're in Cathedral for Oats and Goats. Getting another super pick up there. Just incredible luck.
Yeah, and somewhere along the way, Oates picked up an extra power bomb as well. I didn't quite catch where. Was it off one of the Sovas, maybe? Because now
Sovas would have a rare % chance to drop it. I mean, yeah, it's got to be in the less than 4% category.
Yeah, and then I guess farmed off the like Zenny did there, farmed 2 off the ones in pre-Cathedral.
Yes. Well, no, then, because if he farmed the 2 in pre-Cathedral, he was already at 1. It was Zenny who was already at 0 and then had to farm for the 2, so he wouldn't have gotten the extra drop. Okay, standard Bubble Mountain there for Zenny to try to get that super back out of King Cac, and let's see how these drops fare. No supers off of the inside farm. So Oates is in an amazing position right now, being full of health. and at 10 missiles, he probably only needs to take 1 farm. 9 supers is fine if you're going to try and maintain this lead.
He didn't even jump through the door. I think he's no farming here, maybe? Oh, okay. I thought for a second running through the door he might have no farmed.
No, because I think he probably still would have at least wanted 1.
Yeah,
I always like to have those.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, especially even if you got that extra super, that'd just be great as well. They taking no risks missiling that door too. Oh, Zenny, 3 farm, 4 farm, no drops, my goodness.
Oh, and just getting totally scammed on super drops. Are you kidding me right now? You can see the visible frustration there for Zenny. I mean, it just, the RNG is not cooperating right now.
Yeah, if you count that he got 0 on the front end, that was a total of 5 farms and 2 super missiles, and there are 5 of those bugs. Gamuts, I think that's what they're called. There are 5 of those per farm cycle, and he did 5 cycles and got 2 super missiles. So that's just a rough RNG pattern for Zenny.
Yeah, that's cruel. And the same thing happened, I believe, in, was it game 1 or 2, where Zenny needed to refarm the bugs? It's just unlucky for those bugs.
Yeah, I think
right
he
now.
came out of game 1, I think, with 15 and 7. So he was even in a probably about the same position, I guess. Well, no, he was at 6. So yeah, a little bit of a worse position now. Not unrecoverable, of course. We're looking at RNG on the Pirates. We're looking at a couple of dead key hunters that might drop supers. This isn't the world's worst position, but you don't want to rely on the RNG for your drops because you could still have a bad time. And every super is 2 seconds saved on Ridley, so those are going to be vital.
All right, let's see, coming through this door, a good setup for the lava spark. Ooh, and just in there. In like Flynn, Zenny's down the elevator. So it's over 20 seconds now. I mean, they were, gosh, almost dead even within frames of each other, leaving Fantoon. And the back and forth swing continues. This time the pendulum going in Oates' favor, just a much cleaner and, frankly speaking, much luckier Upper Norfair in terms of RNG, which is contributing to that lead change. But
yeah.
Oates getting through worst room in the game and definitely in command right now, going into Ridley.
Yeah, this all started in the attic. It really started back at Moat. But I think if Zeni was looking at his restream, if you're looking at the restream of what he knows he came out of Fantoon at a tie, basically at Tide, then the real turning point then was attic. And at the attic is really where the separation started, and it's just grown little bit by little bit. And I'm hoping that Zeni is not kind of having the wheels come off the cart, so to speak. Still playing very solidly, but sometimes it's death by 1,000 cuts at this point. Gosh, Oates is still at 9 supers after all that. There's 2 big healths for Zenny. That is helpful. Like, that is really good. If you don't get supers, big health is what you want off of those guys.
Looks like it's going to be really excellent resources here for Oates. No surprise.
Yeah,
has been sort of on cruise control, both playing and resources-wise since Attic.
I'm sure he would disagree with the idea of cruise control, but absolutely playing well. You know, that muscle memory and second nature does all kick in. But I know that, you know, he's definitely focused and locked in right now.
Yeah, great HP and getting the extra super drop. Really, it was just the power bomb drops that that Oates needed to pick up through that crab shaft coming out of wrecked ship.
Is he gonna get the 4? Oh, he does! He gets the 4 X Factors there. Solid start. Still at 201 as well. Managed to conserve some good health there. All right, we got a little high five action as Zenny is about to start his Ridley fight. Oates' Ridley fight's going pretty well at the moment. Has not taken damage since the X Factors.
Oh, and that one particle whiffing, but Zeni managing to get it around. I was wondering if he's going to go for the 4th X Factor anyway, just because his health was only a little above 200 entering the room.
Yeah, well, I also wonder, because I know when I've watched runners practice this, it requires very specific conditions in order to actually launch those X Factors. A certain level of predictability, a certain level of manipulation. And I think maybe Zeni also just didn't have that, because I think at this point he's probably confident enough to just go ahead and get hit again if it meant he could have gotten that 4th X Factor. But I think the setup just wasn't there for him. So we got Zeni going for the Ridley E-Tank here. Ridley E-Tank. That's going to be very interesting for Oates. I think Oates wants to make sure he finishes this run, sees he's a good bit ahead of Zeni at the moment, and that is about I want to say 12 seconds, but I'm sure at the top level it might be less than 10. We're talking about an extra item fanfare and 2-door transitions. That is the difference that allows you to get that Ridley E-Tank.
Yeah, just an absolutely sick fight from Oates, having the 10 supers coming in and hitting all 4 X Factors. Super clean fight, barely took any damage, and was
Zeni,
minus 30, but using that extra time to get that extra tank, I like that decision.
Yeah, and Zeni definitely like this decision as well. Obviously, Zeni did not go for the tank. I think Zeni knows he's behind, has to basically use that as a time makeup, using Oates and Goats' need for safety as a time makeup. So we'll see if he can close the gap here as we make our way up to Kraid.
Oh no, that's 2 runs in a row. Zeni missing that Wasteland speedball. About 18 seconds right now. So, Zeni was plus 30 on Oates and definitely was able to close a little bit of the gap there, not taking that Ridley tank.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can give about 4 of it back for missing that Wasteland speedball. That is one of those tricks that does save you a good bit of time, because then you've got 2 bombs and a slow movement through that tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a decent. There we go. Yeah, that's a good 3 Musketeers right there by Oates and Goats.
Yeah, beautifully handled. No issue whatsoever. Obviously, having the extra tank, so it wasn't really much of a danger at all for Oates, but...
Oh, a little bit of danger here for Zeni. Really going all out for this?
Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Holy smokes. Taking hits on all 3 of those pirates, getting stuck behind the final pirate, between the pirate and the wall, needing to improvise a dodge at the very end, making it out with 4 health. My goodness.
So I think what happened there, I think Zeni was going for speed strats. I think because at 154, you can take 3 hits there. Given that there are 3 key hunters, not that it made the most sense, certainly, but speed strats would just say plow right through them and climb up there as fast as you can. I don't think it quite went the way Zeni had wanted, but the result is that he's still alive and still chasing down Oates at this point.
Well, Sforzando, what it looked like is that he went for that first D-boost, right, on the bottom pirate to get through, and whiffed on the D-boost, and then that started sort of a really unfortunate chain of events.
Yeah, and that's just how this route goes, too, because, I mean, if you try to do that setup normally as if you weren't racing, any mess up to the manipulation changes how the key hunters fly in there, so then everything else is just a response to that. There are some strategies that you can use to fix it, but they will set you back, and you definitely don't want to do them in a race. Okay, Oates struggling with the real final boss of this is the Kraid Ghidorah. Now
nice
it's Oates going for
strats.
yeah, I was gonna say, and now it's Oates going for the I think it was Zeni that did that the last race, or no, Zeni did that in game 1, and then here Oates is doing it in game 3. 28:08 on the Varia time there for Oates.
Nicely done there for Zeni.
And a little high five action right here. Okay, so the gap right now is 18 seconds. 28-26 on that Varia time.
Yeah, still a very, very close race. And we've got an extremely challenging section coming up in Meridia where both runners really just need to execute. So, a chance for that lead to go really in either direction.
Yeah, and we're talking, we still have Happy, Full Happy, Botch Wound, Reverse Happy. I mean, a miss, like if you miss Spike Suit and don't get it reloaded, that sets you back probably 10 seconds at least in terms of the navigation of Coliseum, Reverse Coliseum. That's not an easy zone to traverse.
Yeah, that's true. I would say in this PRKD route, the D is really a big part of it.
Yeah, I would say it's a very big part of it. As we're making our way up to Botsmoon for Oats and Goats, little misstep on the entrance to Main Street. I don't remember what this room is called. I just know the Main Street trick on how you get up there to the super missiles.
Now let's keep an eye after if this Botoon fight goes smoothly for Oats. I'll be curious. You know, the extra tank was safety getting out of Lower Norfair. Does Oats sort of keep with that theme and go for 4 tanks? Or if the Botoon drops are really good, do we consolidate and go back to a 3-tank run and Oats regain some of that time?
I think he goes for 4 tank. I think he still sees the gap now and realizes the gap's about the same. Oh, doesn't quite get the double, though. Yeah, I think he missed
just
the
a
setup.
little late on the charge, it looked like, setting up that charge shot.
Yeah, I definitely still think he goes for the tank here. I think he sees the lead in seeing that Zeni is now entering Botwoon.
We're about to find out. Let's see.
No!
Wow, look at that.
It.
Yep. I mean, he was almost full at health.
I wonder, write that down. Let's ask him about that, because I actually wonder if that was motivated by the 2-round Botwoon. Oh no, a quarter halfy! That is literally, unfortunately, that's the worst thing you could do in that room because it drops you straight down. So having to recover from the quarter halfy, it's kind of worse than not getting halfy at all, or even the actual regular halfy. That's tough. That's going to be a chance for Zenny to make up some of this time if he can get the full halfy.
Is Zenny doing 5 wall jumps there? Some runners opt for 4. Really, really nice setup. No, not even a close shave and a haircut there. Zenny having no trouble whatsoever. Does have only 1 super left, but does have 20 regular missiles, and that's plenty to handle this Dragon fight for Zenny.
Yeah, so yeah, you're definitely going to want to make sure, he's going to want to make sure that he gets a solid opening, because not having supers allows you to make, like, if you had supers, you could make up for a bad open, but with those missiles, the maximum you can get in there, I think, is 10 or 11, and that would put you right there.
I couldn't tell what those bottom 2 particles did there.
Oh, I don't know. I can never tell because I think like both of our runners' color scheme is just ever so slightly different. So when I look for those nuanced colors in these bosses, it's always tough for me to see where they're at. I think that was a good open for Zenny.
Ooh, gosh, Oats! Holy smokes! Had a Dragon down to really low health, a very red belly, and just surviving that chain damage. My goodness.
Oh, here come the drops. I'm worried. Okay, Oats is in a little bit of trouble right now. You need, I think, 112 to get across. Maybe he's okay. I think you need 112 to get across Coliseum, yeah.
Okay,
Zenny, much better position.
Zenny did spend a little bit of extra time after the drops came in to give 1 extra attempt for that spike suit. Got it. Avoided any disaster, and is now going to be just over a room transition behind. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and if Zenny hits this moonfall, oh yeah, he gets it. That's just extra frames saved right there. Sloters, take notes. Yeah, we are Zenny is 1 room behind now. I think maybe now Oats is justified in his not getting Botwoon E-Tank.
Yeah, it's an item fanfare right now. If Oats had picked up the Botwoon E-Tank and everything else was the same, Zenny actually might be a little bit in the lead right now, because that Botwoon E-Tank takes a while to go out of the way for.
Goodness, okay.
And on much less health, surely Oats is going to be farming these bugs here. Yep.
Yeah, and you need more than 2 supers, so 90, you probably want like 120, yeah, 150 and 3, that's gonna do, because Oats does a missile opener that allows him to pick up all the drops off of the first Metroid in the first Metroid room, and so probably not worried about those supers at this point. Hopefully that Metroid will drop at least 1 super, but the gather strat does allow some room for 5 missiles, if it's done pretty tightly.
It was 9 seconds leaving the re-entry of Botwoon. It was 5 seconds at the elevator. And with a couple bonks there for Oats, we're going to have to see these G4 times. Folks, hold on to your butts. We are getting close. Down to the wire here, and these runners are right on top of each other.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be like, see if Oats gets Blockbuster here. I think he missed it in the last run. There it is. He's getting Blockbuster. Zenny's missed this one too, I think. Perfect for both of them, staying high and tight with each other. Getting a little farm on here. Maybe he missiles this door. Yeah, he missiles this door.
That's another second though.
Oh no,
okay,
Zenny
also missing with 2. Yep. So 34-22 G4.
So basically
34-27. 5 seconds. Wow.
Goodness, I did not think we'd get. I had hoped in my heart of hearts that we would be so close by the end of this race. I did not think we'd get here this way, but here we are in the last zone of the game in Torian with a 5-second difference between our two runners. Buckle up, this one's going to be a wild ride. Now, if you'll remember, not the commentator's curse, but I have to point out, Zeni has struggled in Metroid 3 in both Game 1 and Game 2. And so we'll see if he actually gets it together, because that seems to be the Achilles heel for a number of runners, but it definitely has been for Zeni tonight.
Let's get ready for these Metroid rooms. The story of this race and of this match has been back and forth pendulums from one runner to the next. Heartbreak, RNG issues, excellent execution and play. It's all down to Turian. Folks, let's go.
Ooh, solid super drops from the first Metroid. Oh, has to run back and collect that other one. Good bomb separation there. Oh, good health drops out of that one.
Very fortunate for Oats there, not missing on that bomb. That health was starting to get just a little bit low there.
Zenny's a little down. Let's see what this comes out. Okay, 6 and 5. Oats still at 5. 20 and 8.
Yeah,
20 and 7.
This is there, but
okay. Nothing's guaranteed. Got to missile both. Both runners are gonna missile this 3-pack right here. Okay, Oats is good. Zeni is good.
And they're within a door transition of each other going into baby skip. Can you believe this? Oh no!
The D-boost.
Down to 39, taking the double hit on the hopper.
Oh no, Zeni has now regained the lead, and Oats is now down to 38 health to play with on Mother Brain. Here comes Baby Skip. Let's see if both of our runners can hit this.
That is Zeni's first lead since the very early stages of this Game 3. Here we are at Baby Skip. Hold on to your butts, folks.
Whoa.
Zeni almost getting grabbed on the setup. Oats almost getting grabbed on jump 2. Both runners making it through. And just like that, they maintain their position. Zeni just a door transition ahead, entering the final stage of this Game 3. We are tied 1-1, and these runners are within a door transition of each other. Let's see how these Mother Brain rooms go.
Oh, let's go, Zeb Skip. Here's the down back skip. Solid for Zeni. Down back skip. Solid for Oats. This is so tight.
Looked like the first missile got sniped there for Zeni. Are you serious?
Oh boy.
Okay, Zeni got the missile snipe, but recovered. Fortunately, there weren't supers out when that snipe happened. And just like that, Oats is back up, but just by about a second and a half. This is all going to come down to, I mean, you couldn't name it. It could be a couple missed shots on any phase of Mother Brain. It could be the escape. Unbelievable. And both runners down at 29 and 39 health.
Yeah, so Oats cannot get hit by anything other than the meatball or a singular onion ring. Zeni has the ability to get hit by a french fry. At this point, that's just how tight it is. You may as well just call this damageless at this point because you do not want to take a hit. It is 60 charge shots, 60 charge ice wave shots. This is a long fight. This is a fight, not quite the longest fight in Super Metroid speedrunning, but this is definitely a fight of attrition. Can you hold out for these 60 charge shots while not getting hit? Both of our runners playing solidly so far. Hey, Oates is in catch-up. Zenny's in catch-up. Oates is no stranger to a temperamental mother brain, whether she fires just ketchup or onion rings and french fries in ketchup. Looks like she's behaving for both of our runners. We got a meatball out. That delays a little bit. We got a, oh no, we got a meatball on Oates' side, but I think Oates had that, still got the ketchup out. Now Zenny is in the lead.
Another
that
swing.
meatball.
That meatball delayed the catch-up. It cost Oates about 5 seconds, and just like that, from plus 2.5 for Oates, it's now minus 2.5.
This is tough because that meatball delayed the shot, but I think Zenny was on the right shot cycle for that meatball to be okay. Oates, I think, had reached 60 shots either right before or right when that meatball exploded, which, of course, is a 4-second delay
I will point out that neither one of these runners is going to get the good cutscene here, so we're not going to get any RNG-dependent effects here.
Well, we wouldn't want it any other way.
Sfortanda, could we ask for anything more? These two runners paralleling each other from game 1 to 2, heartbreak for both of them, and now the mini heartbreaks, the mini trials and tribulations through this game 3, and through all of it, we wind up right back here within seconds of each other. Both runners surviving their mother brain 2 fight, no more heartache. It will come down to the escape and to execution. This is exactly how 2 top runners should be settling it and moving on. We could not ask for more.
And this is the final 4. So I mean, this is the end of the line. One of these runners will go home with 4th place in this tournament. The other will move on to face a real cutie in the losers finals. And so, buckle your seatbelts. Here comes the ending.
All right, Mother Brain 3. Here we go. Nice start for Zeni, not having any issue getting hit by an onion ring or having the meatball drop down. Same for Oates, no problem. Sometimes Mother Brain can be a little bit of a jerk there.
We got 2 missed shots on Oates' side. Oh boy, that could be tough.
Clean fight for Zeni. That's going to open up the lead by just a little bit more. Let's see the time on the head drop here. It might be 3 or 4 seconds at this point.
Yeah, upper 12 versus upper
just
15.
under 4 seconds. Holy smokes.
Oh,
anything can happen here, folks.
Escape
this
time
escape is not free.
Oh, Oates did not get the 3-minute thing. He should reset. You want to get that on 3 minutes on the dot, or else it's not a real run.
Way to skip the platform from both runners.
Yeah, we got the good spark. Here comes the Leodox for Zeni. And
nice
Leodox,
door check there for Zeni.
Got to get these wall jumps with iframes. Safe route for Zeni. A more complicated but shorter route for Oates. Got to get this moonfall.
No problem. Moonfall for Zeni. Moonfall for Oates.
I think Oates took a little longer. I think he had to back up just a hair farther. Now into the spark room. The Behemoth Spark or Zeni Spark?
It's about 3 seconds. Zeni gets it. Oates right behind. No problem. Still parlor.
Steam RNG. Here we go.
Very clean wall jumps in the parlor for Zeni.
Oh, is he going for the boost? Oh, he doesn't get the boost. But he gets the double steam.
But he's through.
Oh, here we go. 1 steam, 2nd steam for... Oh, nope. I think he stuttered. Did he tap there? I think that's what it is. I think he tapped there to ensure no steam. Wow!
And that's it. Shiny Zeni coming in to 1st place and moving on with a time of 42:31. Oates and Goats just 3 seconds behind with a 42:34. Zeni finally took advantage of that momentum swing and held onto it through Mother Brain 3 and the escape. Zeni will be moving on to the next round with 2-1. Oates and Goats, in a valiant attempt, comes up just 3 seconds short at the end. And unfortunately, the final heartbreak is on his end. Hopefully we can get both of these runners in here to talk about what was an absolutely epic, instant classic in Super Metroid speed running.
Wow. I mean, you could not have asked for much closer of a race. I think this ties the actual bracket stage finish, and I think it's actually between Oates and Ruya. That was a 3-second finish right there. So these matches do not get much tighter than this. What an amazing display of talent. put on by both of our runners this evening.
All right, we have them set up in the green room. We'll be pulling them in just in a second. And here they are, Oats and Goats and Zenny, after an incredible and grueling 3-game set. Congratulations and GG's, Zenny. GG to both of you, Oats and Zenny. Thank you so much for an excellent show.
Oats was just about to throw down with me in the other voice channel, and then you just yanked us in here.
Yeah, you separated us. I was about to start getting angry, you know?
No, go ahead, do it. Good.
Okay, well, in that case, no. Honestly, it's all good. I if I'm gonna lose to anyone, losing to Zenny is fine. And yeah, it was a bummer about that second race. That was probably some of the worst Fantoon drop luck and flames I've ever seen. So that was rough, but it was fun. That was a heck of a good race, and yeah, I just misplayed a few things at the end, and Zenny played better. So hats off, man.
Let's just pretend like I didn't die in the first race, and then that the second race never happened.
Yeah. This race was much better.
How's that?
Yeah, I can agree to that. But yeah, honestly, I'm not bummed. That was a heck of a show. I know like I said, the second race was probably boring, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, and GG's, and no doubt you're gonna hopefully take Cutie out here. So.
Yeah, silly question real quick. Oats, during that second race, what were you doing? We speculated that you were checking your Instagram account.
No, I was checking my MySpace, of course. I see in the chat a lot of people are asking about that Ridley E-Tank. I knew I was ahead by a significant amount, and I knew that I could potentially skip Botsoon, so that time loss is very small. What lost me the time was missing full halfy entirely.
What was the okay? So were you ever thinking about getting the Botsoon E-Tank, or did the second round Botsoon change your mind?
No. Basically, I just wanted to escape just fine. I had some decent health, but I knew that it would be a negligible time loss just doing the Ridley tank instead of the Botsoon tank. And yeah, but the thing that lost me the time there was the full halfy. That's it.
Yeah, you got the quarter halfy there, which is rough. Just because you just dropped straight down, and there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, and then Dragon was a little bit rough. I almost died to chain damage. I was just trying to bring it back, and then yeah, just a few shaky things at the end. I got Ruyed on the Mother Brain there with the bomb at the closer to the end of the fight, so that lost me a good 2-3 seconds. But yeah, it was good. It was a heck of a race, and hats off to Zeni. He earned it. So.
Thanks, Oats. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
GG, man.
Yeah, GG.
Well, if I could ask, you already addressed race 1 and 2. Heartbreak for Zeni in race 1 and not getting the opportunity to try to close the gap in the final stage there, and then heartbreak for Oats in race 2 with that really unfortunate Fantoon. But then the momentum and the pendulum swing in game 3 was absolutely fascinating to watch. Moat troubles for Zeni, Fantoon issues again for Oats, and then the attic for you, Zeni, really caused what I believe was the start of a ripple effect of a lot of issues that led you being about 30 seconds behind going into the Ridley fight. Walk us through that, exactly what was going on there. You traded Moat and Fantoon, you were dead even coming out of Fantoon, and then from Attic to Lower Norfair, things just started to turn belly up for you, and you managed to claw all the way back. How was that for you when you were going through that part of the run?
Yeah, so in Attic, I item selected too many times. That's really all that happened there. And as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, this is really bad, and I was keeping close tabs on Oats throughout the race. So I knew we were pretty even leaving Fantoon, and I checked again after Attic, and sure enough, he'd pulled probably a good, 10 seconds at that point or something like that. And I was like, dang it, man. Like, okay, well, I just gotta put my best foot forward, right? Just got to do the best I can. But yeah, it was rough. I didn't have very good resources, so I had to
B-Tom farm, and
and then I had to do what, 4 or 5 speed bug farms, because they just were not dropping me supers.
Oh, that was something the chat was just kind of going nuts on too, because you did a total of 5 farms for 2 supers.
Yeah, Yeah, it was rough. I did get Lava Spark. So that was kind of a saving grace there. I felt like Lower Norfair itself went pretty okay until Wasteland, where I missed the Kagos going down. I knew that lost me some time. I honestly don't remember the Pirates. I don't remember Plower House. I don't remember pre-Ridley. I barely remember Ridley. I think I got a 3x, but one of the particles whiffed. Is that right? Something like
that sounds about right. Yeah, you looked like you lined up for the fourth one. Yeah,
though. The fourth particle did end up hitting.
You looked like you wanted to line up for a fourth one, but is that just the manipulation wasn't there for you?
Yeah. So what happened is I do the same thing regardless, and sometimes a particle will whiff because I mess up my positioning on the third X factor or whatever. I actually have my own fourth X positioning and strat that I came up with a few weeks ago. So where I run to the right of the platform and then I jump up and over Ridley, and it will consistently hit 3 of the 4 particles and you don't take any damage. So that's why I like it. But of course, since there was still a particle flying around from the third X factor, I wasn't able to do the fourth one. So I just tried to manipulate the remaining particle into Ridley, which did work, thankfully. And I feel like the rest of the fight was pretty clean after that. I checked on Oates when my Ridley died and saw him fall short of the door when he was trying to leave the Ridley room, and I was like, wow, I made up a lot of time there. And at that point, I kind of told myself, I was like, I just need to focus on surviving the escape, which was terrifying.
Can we just talk about the collective heart attack we all had in Three Musketeers there?
Yeah, how does it feel being at 4 health and trapped between a musketeer and the exit?
Yeah, terrifying. Yeah. I did not handle that well at all. I'll be completely honest. I lucked out there at the end. I knew I was still behind Oates, and I knew I needed to make up that time, so I went for the deboost strat because I had enough energy. And unfortunately, I messed it up because I just am not super good at it yet. But I was not expecting the top key hunter to gatekeep the way that it did. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that I narrowly escaped the death hit twice. I think I barely got out of the hitbox in time when I first got up, and then when I was jumping over it, I thought that I had timed my jump incorrectly, but it went down and I went over it and I survived. So good for me, I guess. But yeah,
it was incredible play on the fly there. Essentially, you had the 4 musketeers, right? You had to dodge that second one twice.
Right.
But so let's look at this, right? I mean, like you said, from Attic to Gravity, it went from dead even to 8-second advantage to Oates. By the time you got to Lower Norfair, it was 30 seconds. But then it started crawling back, right? And all of a sudden it was only 18 seconds at Varia because of some of the issues that Oates had talked about earlier with the Haffy and some of the other things that happened. Then it was 9 seconds leaving the Batoon room revisit. It was 5 seconds at the Criteria elevator. It was tiny things. It was a little bonk here. It was some movement issues. And then getting back to Turian, it was just under 5 seconds. And there was 3 or 4 different lead changes in Turian. I'm wondering, Oates, you were up by about 30 seconds. I'm sure you were following the restream. When you see it come down and it's within almost a door transition at a certain point, how are you feeling about your resources? It looked like you missiled to be a little bit safer entering into G4. What was going through your mind when you were coming up on that Turian?
I just knew it was extremely close. I made some movement mistakes, which cost me a good 3-4 seconds there, which tightened the lead up, or tightened, it up even more. And I didn't want to get screwed over in Torian, so I decided to use 5 missiles there. And it was really just small things. I made mistake here, there, even grabbing the Ridley E-Tank that was slow because I fell at the top of the room. And so like my idea was just to grab the Ridley E-Tank to be safe. Worst case scenario, my idea was if Zenny had some big mistakes leaving, I would have probably, if I was like a 30-40 second lead, probably grabbed the E-Tank. But yeah, I knew it was close, so I just skipped it. And like I said, it was just the movement mistakes, really missing the full halfy there, just way too high. I tried to go for the strat that Zenny showed me, and I think that's what did it. So thanks, Zenny.
Little sabotage there.
Yeah. Trying to bonk your head and then clip above. I was like, okay,
man,
I was gonna bonk my head, and then I jumped past it, and then I bonked my head on the ceiling. I was like, oh no.
So you jumped too late. You got to jump earlier, man.
Yeah, but if I jump earlier, it eats my input. It's just... But yeah, no, it was good. I knew at that point it was like, oh, it was close. And then, like I said, Dragon mistakes. I knew it was even closer. I mean, you might have even been ahead at that point. I don't even know. But yeah, just small things. Like I said, it was my game to lose at that point, and you were really in your element, so it was good.
Yeah. So on the reverse halfy, I checked, and it looked like you were about maybe a room and a half ahead of me, and I knew I didn't have great resources, but I had enough that if it were a PB attempt, I would have skipped the Meridia bug farm. So I did. Not sure if you grabbed that or not.
Yeah, I did 2 farms just to be safe. Yeah.
So that's a big part of what closed the gap there. Then.
Yeah, if you watch it back, you'll see my movement is rough leaving. So.
Yeah. So okay, well, Oats, this is where we bid you adieu. 4th place, a large hefty share of the prize pool. GG to you though for just having an amazing tournament, setting one of the 41s, and just being an all-around great contributor to this community and for being awesome. Thank you so much. Do you have any final thoughts for our streamers or for our chatters out there? Mostly yours.
Say thanks so much for everyone contributing to this tournament. This is definitely the most exciting any percent has been. Rain or shine for any of the runners, it's always a good thing to have more exposure for this game, and it was a ton of fun. So I'm not bummed. I'm happy that Zenny is progressing, and I had a great time. Good luck to all the runners in their future races, and I'll be there watching. So
real quick, are you still grinding, or are you done at 41-22?
No, I'm not done. No, I'm still grinding.
Awesome. Give Oats and Goats a follow if you would be so kind. If you want to see him get that 40, cheer him on, and see where he ends up at the end of this. So Zenny, you have a date with a real cutie. Any thoughts on your upcoming match?
Well, lots and lots of nerves because it's not just the tournament on the line. Oats actually told me if I don't beat Cutie, we're not friends anymore.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm feeling the pressure. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I guess I just gotta, like I said, put my best foot forward and do my best. Cutie is an amazing player, and I definitely feel like he has the upper hand in this matchup. But I'm gonna do my best. Hopefully play a little better than I did on average tonight. I'll say. Yeah. I feel like I had some real bright spots, but some dark spots too. So,
yeah. Well, awesome. GG to you tonight. And after Sloaters had originally thrown down the gauntlet to try to take the Sloat pen, I think it goes to you tonight. So it is the Zenny penny. GG to you, man. Good luck to you and the rest of the way. Me personally, I'm not trying to pick favorites, but I'd like to see in the final just so I could say I lost to the eventual champion. So. GG and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. I also just want to say thank you again to SpeedGaming, to Eddie for organizing this, to Oats for being not only an amazing opponent to race against, but a great friend, and to the community at large just for everything everything I have as a result of my participation in this game. I really appreciate it. So, give everybody a follow and I guess I'll see you next time.
Yep. Thanks, Zenny. All right. Well, Professor, I'm wiped. This was an amazing 3-game set. Chat has been awesome tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have been Sforzando, and Professor, I'm just going to let you take us home.
Thank you so much, Sforzando. Thank you to our runners, Oats and Goats, and Shiny Zenny put on the most incredible performance that you can imagine. Go back and watch that instant classic Game 3. That Turian was absolutely unbelievable. We are so grateful to the runners. We are so grateful to chat for participating, to everyone who's putting this on today. It has been absolutely exceptional. We do want to remind everyone that coming right on up after this is the Zelda 1 randomizer finals right here on SpeedGaming 2. Stay with us for that. It is starting immediately after the end of this interview, so hang in for that. I'm so grateful to you, Sforzando. It was an absolutely incredible 2-game set that we got to call together, an instant classic. And here we are. We're down to the final 3. Zenny and Cutie coming up next, folks. Keep your eyes peeled on that schedule. It's only going to get better from here. Thank you all. Be great to each other. And we will see you next mission.